Thanks for coming back for another week of Those AshHoles. We are pleased to have a special guest. We have the Chief of Fire here, right? This is out of Bargersville Community Fire Department and Whiteland Fire Department. We haven't had one of these guys before. We've had a heavyweight boxer. We've had a cigar owner, the church owner.
Yeah, the cigar club owner.
Yeah, we had that. We had a mayor, right?
We had a county commissioner.
We've had a lot of people.
We've got some good ones coming,
Yeah, this is a big one, though. So he's led the Indiana Fire Chief Executive Program for 5 years. Was a big part in setting up and building the mandatory program that all new firefighters have to go through. He also worked for the Department of Homeland Security. I know that's near and dear to our hearts. For 12 years, various roles assisting the state with training and incident command response teams. He's a member of the FEMA Region 5 Advisory Council. He's a current president of the Funk Cancer Foundation, which helps anyone go through financial issues during a medical crisis for both patients and families. So that's super dope.
Yep.
He's the current vice president of the Elite Public Safety Consulting. This is Eric Funkhouser.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
Wow. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
That's a heck of a resume, brother. Usually I can remember all these things. I had to put it all down on notes.
He puts out fires ahead of time by just killing all these trees with his resume.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a pretty stacked. I don't even know where to start. So you've made it to the top. I guess the easiest place to start is where we're at now. You've made it to the top of your profession.
Right.
Did you ever sit out and go, I want to be the chief?
Yes. So I will say that's obviously one of the things that when I got into the fire service, I'm wired a little differently than a lot of people are. I always said from the get-go that I wanted to be the fire chief. So, I tell people all the time that, I'm not worried about people, when they come in and say they want to be the fire chief. I love working with people like that. I want people that are motivated, that are driven.
Goals.
Yeah, that have goals and that want to have big goals.
People are awesome.
Absolutely, yes.
So we know like the fireman goes out, they put out the fire. What does the chief do?
I am more of the administrative person, so I do a lot of the budgeting and then just oversee everything. So I always call myself HR.
Okay.
So everything, basically, the problems all end with me, you know what I mean? And I always tell people, I'm the political umbrella. So, instead of my firefighters and my EMTs and paramedics having to deal with politics, I spend all day dealing with that. I have people that do the operations and go on the runs. So I'm the person that just kind of oversees everything, makes sure everybody gets paid correctly, and then bends over backwards to make sure that I'm paying them correctly and, getting them good benefits and stuff like that.
And the chief is an appointed position, right?
It is. Yes.
Okay, so who appoints the chief?
Yeah, so at Bargersville, I've got a board of trustees, a district board of trustees that oversee me. So I have 5 bosses. They report they're appointed by the county commissioners here in Johnson County. And then my budget is approved through the Johnson County Council.
Okay.
So I always say, people always say, you're in charge. I'm like, I'm not in charge.
Yeah,
I've got like 12 to 15 people above me. Yes, exactly.
Jerry and I both being vets, we understand there's a lot of overlap with military and a paramilitary organization that is a fire department structure, rank, So when you're describing your role, that's leadership. Leadership is, hey, guess what? I don't get to do the day-to-day fun stuff anymore that attracted me to this job in the first place. Except what you made reference to. You always wanted to be a chief, which is awesome. Weak leadership is afraid of people with goals.
Yes.
So, in the fact, I love hearing you're like, hey, I want you to come in here and want to be the chief. That's awesome. Because you're thinking long-term, bigger than me, how this department's going to be running 10, 20 years after I made mission and I'm gone fishing. I'm out of here. I'm retired.
Yep.
And I think that's great. So let's like Jerry said, when did you first become a firefighter? And was it Bargersville you started with?
It was Bargersville.
Okay.
So I had never had any dreams of being a firefighter growing up. It never crossed my mind. I had some extended family that were firefighters, but that was never something. So as I went through high school here in Franklin, and graduated in 1996, I went to Franklin College for a year, had no clue what I wanted to do.
Go Grizz.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to Franklin College for 1 year, ended up doing was going to go into business at the time, business management and stuff like that through Franklin College, and spent 1 year and ended up not liking it at all. So ended up dropping out of college after 1 year.
Had a baby, me too.
Yeah. Did you?
Well, I could do it probation, a little different circumstances, but I was a one and doneer.
Yeah.
Going to class is imperative, sir.
Nobody told me.
That's all right. I Lord knows I'm never going to brag about my academic
fireman
prowess.
fireman in Bargersville ends up being the police chief in Bargersville.
The fire chief.
Or the fire chief.
chief, yeah.
So, I keep saying police. The fire chief in Bargersville. That's a heck of a story by itself.
Yeah, so I ended up dropping out of college, and my dad had been a union electrician for 35 years, and he passed away a couple of years before he retired in his 50s when he was 51 years old. So I ended up jumping in. What's that?
Way too young.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I lost my dad at 51 and my mom at 47.
Ouch.
Yeah,
that
so,
sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, so ultimately, you know what I mean? I decided I had no clue what I wanted to do. I was selling cell phones here in Franklin and making good money when I was in college. So I was doing that for a while, ended up going into the electrical union like my dad. Did 5 years of school, through the electrical trade, topped out as a journeyman. And by the time I topped out, making really good money. And then started running some foreman jobs, so making even better money at the time. So didn't like college, dropped out after 1 year, did 5 more years of school, to get my my electrical trade, which I just completed 25 years of that. So,
well, I can only imagine all that experience and knowledge you have from the electrical trades probably serves you pretty well as a firefighter.
It does, yes. Yeah, even when we're dealing with, watching bills go through and, stuff like that at the State House and stuff like that. Just having that background knowledge of, the building trades and the laws that they're trying to pass. So we get to see a lot of that stuff, and I have more background knowledge, on what they're trying to take out or what they're trying to put in and make mandatory for the state.
We got a lot to get into with you, obviously, based off that resume alone. But before the resume was built, I want to get into, who you were as a kid, where you grew up, all those things. But before we do that, so ironically enough, he and I ended up going to the Nate Bargatze concert.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if it was you or Brian Alvary.
Yeah, Alvary, yes.
Maybe you stole the tickets.
You call me whenever you want. You're going to hook me up with some free tickets.
For those of you that don't know, Brian won a prize from the people that are giving away. They spelled his name wrong on the congratulations.
Thank you, Corn Country, for those tickets. The value on them was amazing.
And I'm sure it was a great show.
Oh, dude,
hilarious.
Unbelievable. My wife is a big fan of his, so on Valentine's Day, I got a lot of brownie points for that. It was a great thing. But he and I were talking via text about coordinating for this, and we both realized we were going to that show. So long story short, we ended up linking up afterwards over at the Slippery Noodle. I reached out to my buddy Marty Bacon, longtime legendary GM of the Noodle, still there, running it right and everything. So he came in. So that enters this whiskey. So Marty's just a dear friend, love him to death. He hooks me up with a bottle of the Slippery Noodle Inn small batch straight bourbon whiskey, which, yes, I have already opened it and partook. Sorry, couldn't wait. We had a little bourbon club Sunday evening. But I promised him we were going to drink this today at this thing. So thank you again, Marty. Shout out to the Slippery Noodle.
Marty's got to come on.
And we got to come on. Oh, yeah, we got to bring Marty on. There's no question. He's got stories for days. There'll be a part
I can only imagine the stories he has at the Noodle.
Just the historic Slippery Noodle and all the things he's done there. He's not been the GM there forever for accidents.
Also, my girl who loves blues says there's like a open night blues night or something, maybe a Wednesdays night.
I think it's Wednesday.
And she's always trying to get me to go up there. So I think I've been to the Noodle one time, and it was so long ago. Dan Aykroyd was coming out with some alcohol or something. He was
the Skull vodka.
There it is. Yeah, and he was there doing some kind of performance or something.
Dude, especially back in the day, I don't go as often as I'd like to these days because the music's and everything. But if I was in there anymore back in the day, I'd have been a stool. Yeah. It's just, that place is an iconic, amazing place. It just the nostalgia, great booze, solid food. But the music in there is. We watched a kid that's 16 years old up there wailing like Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was wild.
And it's just some random kid on a Sunday night?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Hell, he came up from Nashville. They
booked
cool. Big bands. They got 2 stages going. It's a legit historic landmark of a music.
You got to get out there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I wanted to get us switched from the adult beverage of coffee to the adult beverage of bourbon. I'll probably continue to drink both. But let's get into your background. Let's tell us who the hell. Let the listeners know who the hell is Eric Funkhouser, because a lot of people around here know you, but not enough people do.
Yeah, so I was born in Morgantown, Indiana, grew up in Morgantown, Indiana. So I was on the Johnson County line, and I grew up, 20 minutes from Franklin, basically out by the Morgan County line. So I always tell people I grew up in like the Bermuda Triangle out there. So I was right on the line.
My cell phone signal would agree.
Yes, exactly. I was on the line on the Franklin side. If I'd have lived on the other side, I would have went into Indian Creek, down the road, went to Martinsville. So I had about as far out of a drive as you could. So I grew up on 13 acres. My family owned the whole valley that I grew up in. So I had the whole run of everything when I was a kid.
That's
so
awesome.
Multiple ponds, hundreds of acres just to play on.
What'd your parents do?
So my dad was an electrician. My mom had worked at the library before, and then she was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Was your dad union and had his own practice and all that?
Or? He was union. He worked for Miller Eads, which is a large electrical company for a long time. 20-some years. And then he went out with a guy started his own company called Wilkie Electric. And so he was one of the first employees that. Him and Gary had worked together at
I used to
Miller
be an
East.
electrical contractor.
Oh, did you?
Heating, cooling, electric, plumbing. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I know all these names. These are
It's kind of cool to hear stories, but you're like, well, you guys had a lot of money. It's like, what'd you do? My dad just worked in the union. And and it's like that American dream. I hate to say it, almost doesn't exist anymore. To buy what you were raised on,
yes,
you better have a lot of money. Millionaire.
Well, that's what my family ended up selling off the valley after time, and big name people, ended up buying a lot of the property out there, and so I kind of lost a lot of my run of the free ground out there. So it's funny when you grow up and you've got all these fishing ponds to go to every day and do whatever you want, and then watching my kids grow up and we didn't have access to any of those. Luckily, we had some good neighbors that allowed them to come over and do all the fishing and stuff.
Well, and as a member of the community, I'm sure you know a lot of families. But there are times where I just drive and we'll be going to somebody's pool party or something, and I just remember as a kid, like, you pass all these basketball courts and nobody's ever hooping. There's never a kid hooping. You see all these open fields and you never see anybody playing football anywhere, tag.
Brother.
Man, everybody's inside. You're right. Everybody's inside playing together on their Roblox or whatever. But I've never seen so many open patches of grass with no children in my life.
My wife, when I first met her and she came out to my house back in the day, she lived up towards Whiteland in Park Forest. And I told her, I said, hey, let's go for a bike ride. And she's like, all right, let's do it. So she's like, I said, where are we going? I said, let's go around the block, which she didn't understand was around the block meant 7 miles.
Yeah. Well, if you'd have said 7 miles, she's not going.
Yeah, exactly.
These blocks are not the same.
Exactly. It's the same thing as when she says, I just got to stop a few places.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be ready in 5 minutes. Payback.
Yeah, she still talks about that to this day. 7 mile bike ride later.
Growing up in an environment like it had to have been a dream, because like Jerry and I grew up in Indy.
I'm a city boy through and through.
I spent a lot of time on my stepfather's farm down in Columbia, Kentucky as a kid, so I got my exposure and stuff like that. And Lord knows I spent a lot of time outside when I was in the Army. But growing up in the city versus having that in your backyard is like a wonderland.
Oh, it was.
Just animals everywhere, nature's, creeks, crawdads, just
we slept with all the windows open. Doors were always unlocked. You never even thought about anything growing up as a kid or anything bad out there.
We did sometimes, but I had a pit bull. So.
Yeah. No, I definitely miss that, and that's why I ended up getting 4 acres just outside of Franklin. So I live over there at Hospital Road and 44 in Franklin on the west side of the town, and just outside city limits. And
you're right there by the middle school, or not the middle school.
Creekside Elementary. I'm right across the street from the elementary. Yep.
Beautiful area.
Oh, we love it.
So how long have you been the chief out here?
I've been the fire chief at Whiteland Fire Department since 2017. So going on 10 years this October.
Okay.
So, 9 years this October.
What's the one that, speaking there, I guess at Whiteland, or I guess you're at both, right? Which one have you been at the longest?
Whiteland.
Okay, so speaking at Whiteland, because that's probably where you first came in, like, oh gosh, I got the job now.
Yes.
Like, we got to figure out what we got to do, right? What's the one thing that I think if you would have known before you got in would have made your job easier? Based off of like, I want to be the chief, and now you're the actual chief. Yeah.
I always tell people that they don't understand when you're getting into that role. You don't understand what you're stepping into. It's, like I said, you think when you go into it, you're going to go on all the runs you want to go and be in charge of everything. But it's the politics and it's the finance. The thing that's taken me the farthest in my career is understanding taxes, codes, laws, politics, and, just relationship building. And that's the biggest thing that's, got me to where I'm at today, is just doing all of that over the past 10 years.
It's like as being a business owner, same thing. It's just like we do all the unsexy side of the business.
Yes, exactly.
We do all the boring stuff behind the scenes.
You're not flipping burgers. You're figuring out if this is the best meat per the cost, per...
consulting with people all the time that want to open a bar. I'm like, you probably should just go sit on the other side of the bar. It's way more fun. If you're thinking this is going to be an awesome backyard playground for me, no. This is a 80-hour-a-week headache for you.
Well, we joke around, me and my wife, it's a full-time job. People say, well, you're only in the office a couple hours a day or whatever it is. You can say 40-hour job, but there's no such thing as a 40-hour job. You're on the clock 24/7. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm running numbers in my head. You know what I mean? So
or taking calls.
Yeah. So my wife always jokes around, for the last 10 to 15 years, she can't remember the last time we actually had a vacation. Because I'm either on a meeting, on a phone call, I'll be sitting on the beach and still doing everything from there.
Yep.
So
I feel that.
We used, even after my surgery, which we'll talk about, I'm sure today, 2 days after surgery, losing a big piece of my brain in that surgery. I had a meeting in the hospital. So I was getting in trouble from my therapist and everybody, and my wife.
You don't stay the chief by sitting on your laurels. Exactly. Baby, we get shit done. We get shit done.
Nobody ever got ahead 9 to 5.
He said, you think I feel sorry for you, fireman? Look at my damn head. You know who had a meeting in the hospital?
Go pull them hoses back on.
That's right, yeah.
What's the most difficult part of your job?
It's just, I always say this, and not in a negative way, it's politics.
Yeah.
I mean,
Having to play the game.
you have to
But
play
it's
the
hard.
game. It's hard because, I mean, politics filters into everything you do. So,
Oh,
I mean,
when they're making your budget.
yes.
Yeah.
So
And then,
you
but
got to
they're
get
not
your
doing
budget.
your job.
Yeah. And I always say you have to build those relationships and get to know them, and you got to understand, on each person what makes them tick. And so I always say, you got to individually meet each one of them and sit down with them and, see what they're interested in. And, so I always try and have lunch and connect with them and just try and get to know their family, get to know them. You know what I mean? Because I always figure if I can get on a personal level with them, I can have a better connection.
100%.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the best leaders I had, I will get my job done because I'm not a POS. Right now, if you suck as a manager and I don't want to, you create an environment where your employees don't want to be here. Most people are just going to do enough to not get fired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I have a manager that I think cares about me on
Yeah.
a personal level, you are going to get every drop of juice out of this turnip, dude.
Absolutely, yes.
Everything because I care about you and you care about me, and now
Yeah.
we have a relationship.
As a real leader, you want people to work for you because they want to, not just because they have to.
Knowing they have to anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You just, people that don't want to disappoint you. But that's too, as a leader, you have to understand your job is basically to serve the people that work for you, to set them up for success so they can do their
Yes.
job.
Yeah.
That's it. You
But at
run
some
shows.
point-
You
but-
said you used the term umbrella before,
Yes,
and that's
right, yeah.
perfect. That's a perfect statement.
Yeah.
But at some point, though, you get out of the truck and now you're in the office.
Yes.
And that's got to be a complete culture shift. Now you're not. You said you always wanted to be the chief, but
Yeah.
now you're not doing what you loved doing.
Correct. Yeah. That's the hardest part was, coming off the truck and being on the. So that's the one thing I always tell people that helps me the most in my career is I worked my way up through the ranks. So I was a firefighter. I started as a lieutenant full time in 2004, made captain a year and a half later, and went to Bargersville. Then made battalion chief, made division chief.
Battalion
in the
chief's
office.
the cool guy in the
It
SUV.
is, yeah. Yeah.
What do they do?
So they run the.
I just know
incident
they don't have
command-
to roll in a truck. They get to roll in an SUV, and I always think they're police.
Every time you go, every time you go up
slow
to the
down,
road,
Jerry?
Yeah, every time. If it has lights, I don't care if it's a vet. I'm
Yeah.
slowing down.
The easiest way to explain it is lieutenants are in charge of the truck, captains are in charge of the station,
Okay.
and then battalions are in charge of everything for that shift. So everybody reports up through the battalion.
Okay.
So yeah,
Kind of like platoon leader.
Yes.
You don't talk like I'm slow, brother. It is still February, right? Let's not
I'm
forget.
talking to
It is
Yeah.
still Black History Month, and I live in Hamilton County, so I qualify.
that's right. Yeah.
I want to ask you though. What's the worst part? The hardest part? What as chief now? I know. I probably know the answer, but I'm not going to put words in your mouth. What was the best part of your job when you were a firefighter? I'm sure saving people, helping people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I want you to
the
expand
worst
on
part,
that
the
too.
adverse,
But
yeah.
right before you expand on what's the greatest thing about being a firefighter, I want to know what's the best part about being a chief right now.
Yeah. Best
Besides the
part of
paycheck.
Yeah, best part of being a chief is just getting to lead the men and women that I get to work with, and just you guys are both from the military, so the people that you want to work for, the people that'll bend over backwards to help you. So if I can get on that personal level, and like I told you guys earlier before we even came on here, I feel like we've taken fun out of the fire service, over time. So
Yeah.
trying to bring back the fun, and it's a running joke for me. I want people to come to work and go on vacation and want to come back to work.
Yeah.
So I want them to spend time with their family, get a lot of time off, and I'll push for pay and benefits and all that stuff.
You don't want them dreading their shifts.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
I want them to
we've-
come in, watch movies, eat good food,
Be ready to
just
go
the
when it does-
camaraderie,
yeah,
and then
When
just
it's time to work,
Yeah.
work.
and then I'll hold you accountable for doing a good job on that. So that's the one thing, and you guys obviously know that is accountability is huge. Everybody wants to be held accountable. Nobody wants to get in trouble, but you know what I mean. So you want to be told that you're doing a good job. So just treating people right, and that's the biggest thing in the fire service. Where good leaders are ones that push and promote their people to do good stuff. So I always tell people my job is when you come work for me is to take the chains off and let you do whatever you want to do. So you want to do big projects, you do big projects, and the running joke at my fire department is if you come up with a great idea, you walk away with a job.
That's not bad though. That's not bad, right? Because everybody
Yeah.
wants to have leadership that empowers them, right?
Exactly.
If I can think of a better way to get it done, you as the chief, and I think this is a lot of people's fear, regardless if we're talking about in fire or military or in
Yeah.
corporate world. Like my manager doesn't want to push my idea because it makes them look bad,
Yep.
even though it really helps out all of us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I could care less if you're coming to take my job. I mean, ultimately, I feel like I know what I'm doing and I'm pretty good at what I do. So I have that security that I feel like I can still do a good job. But why would I not tap into the resources that are around me and let them do some stuff and put their name to it? So
what are some of your best memories when you were still a firefighter? When you were still on the truck and you're kicking in doors, running into God knows what, or showing up. I think predominantly what you guys do is show up to accidents.
Yes.
And you don't get a whole lot of house fires, you get a lot of accidents.
Oh, we do a lot of EMS too. 80 to 90% of everything we do.
In my opinion, I think half our populace forgot how to drive during COVID.
Yes.
And it's getting worse and worse on the road. The roads aren't getting a whole lot better collectively. Yeah. Obviously, this isn't Indianapolis. But a lot of wear and tear, right?
Yeah.
I think our elected officials, especially in Johnson County, do well to keep up on it.
Yep.
But it's still a thing.
Yeah.
And what are some? Can you share with us some of the things that fireman? Just this was a win for me. I don't know. You saved a drowning poodle. I don't know. Give us some stuff that was just. These are my memories.
Yeah, my favorite part of the fire service is still to this day. I'm old school. I love going on fires, which nobody does a lot of fires anymore. So you'll hear firefighters talk about, I do fires every day. There's nobody doing fires every day. It's just.
Are they just building things better today?
They're building better, and we're inspecting better and doing all kinds of stuff.
And probably more alerting notification systems. People are better trained on what to do if there's a fire.
Smoke detectors everywhere.
We don't need to break.
Yeah.
Now awesome. We have fire extinguishers.
We're really pushing prevention now.
Yeah.
Now the building codes, not saying this in a bad way, but they've changed over time. So back in the 40s and 50s, if you had a house fire, you had 10 to 15 minutes because of the heavy wood timber and stuff like that. Now everything's plastic.
Metal stud, plastic, drywall.
So now you got like 3 minutes before the house flashes, when you show up. So, back in the day when I started, we'd still have 20-minute response times to some areas in our district, and you'd be there for 20 to 30 minutes by yourself before the next crew would show up. So you would get to do a ton of work. Well, today, we're blessed here in Johnson County. So, you're lucky if you're there for 3 to 5 minutes before the next crew's showing up behind you.
So like in a week, your typical firefighters are either in Bargersville or Whiteland. In a week, how many fire runs are they doing?
I would say on average 0. And not saying that in a bad way.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
That's the fire prevention.
That doesn't mean they're not saving lives in other medical responses. But,
exactly.
But we think fire department, we think fires.
Everybody thinks fires,
We don't think a 2-year-old's choking and the fire department shows up and saves that kid's life, or we don't think things like that.
So that's ultimately, like I said, you would not believe how many sick people there are, people that break their arms, their legs, fall off roofs, stuff like that all week long.
So you got some examples of some awesome wins for you that you just gosh, I was glad I was there. I was able to be impactful.
Yeah, some of them, the biggest ones, like you said, were car accidents. You know what I mean? People being trapped in a car and thinking that there's no way they're going to make it, and then just being able to cut them out and being able to save them. So awesome. Between those things, the fires, you know what I mean? I've never, my kids, the running joke with them is, like a week or two on the job down there as they're full-time firefighters, they were able to help make a save on a fire. I've never in my career, so I'm 27 years in, I've never made a save on a fire.
See, and we would think that, you've been there a year, of course you have.
Yeah, exactly.
We would think that.
Well, the TV shows, they do it every
time,
episode,
exactly.
So I know, like in the service, one of the big things for us, obviously, that alarm goes off.
Yep.
And from that moment on, it's you're hoping your firemen and women are training so much that it's like Pavlov's dog. When the thing goes up, autopilot kicks in. We just start going, right?
Battle drills.
And they get there, they get done. One of the biggest things for us was like the energy dump afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? The adrenaline dump, the just like, I'm beat now. Does that happen in the fire department after a big thing like that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Either a big fight or a big medical.
Yep.
Do you have
any run you go on that's big like that? Obviously your adrenaline spikes. You know what I mean? So you're just...
What's your processes? Because you having 27 years of experience, you've seen that thousands of times.
Yep.
What's your processes when you have a big scene, whatever it is, and then it's all done, boom, all the crews go back to the house. What is your processes now? What are your, just for the DS,
Is there like we call AAR, after action review?
So something? We do that, yeah. So anytime there's a good big run, you know what I mean, we always come back. Training's a huge part of the fire service now. So, every day there's some sort of training, or we're always, reviewing what we've done and how can we do it better next time. So, you guys have heard me say this, and I'll say it again. I will fight, bend over backwards to help people get paid better and stuff like that. But my expectation level, as you get paid more and get better benefits, is that you're going to earn it. Yeah. So I set that expectation on the front side with everybody that works for me, and they've bought into it. You know what I mean? So they train like crazy, and they're fantastic. Medics, EMTs, everybody in the field. It's almost like running doctors in the field anymore. So, The amount of
Right.
stuff that they can do, it's unbelievable.
Paramedics are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Now we'll both tell you as military service member, I don't care if a guy or girl saves my life, just please save me.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
But does the fire department have some kind of quota to meet some kind of need, whether it's female or minority or anything like that?
We do not. No.
Okay, so it's.
But I can tell you there are departments out there that do have, that put a high priority on that. So, you know, I mean, that's
And that's
something-
not to say those people aren't good fire department
Exactly,
or firemen,
yeah.
but that's to say maybe you got first look because you're of
Correct,
Hispanic
yes.
descent or.
I think there's this misnomer in the fire service that you have to have so many of each class.
I think we
you know
figured
what I mean?
everything
Yeah.
was like that.
Yeah, it's not. So, not here in my fire department. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody doesn't get a fair chance. You know what I mean? But we set the standard. Everybody gets to go through it. So we're not looking to, we have to meet this many.
We want the
of a
best
quota.
people.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking for the best
Having
people.
been born in the early 70s growing up, I thought there was, I'm being facetious, but
Yeah.
I thought the requirement was that at any given point, 50 to 75% of the fire department had to be Irish.
Yeah.
You know? 'Cause it just seems like
Yeah.
firefighters.
Yes.
Hey, it makes it easier when you know who started the fire.
So you're doing Whiteland and Bargersville simultaneously?
Yes.
How does that work?
How do you manage that? Because they both seem like unbelievably difficult jobs.
Oh, and they're both growing as fast as can
Oh,
be.
so Whiteland's
two of
not
the fast-
small?
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, I got to meet with your town manager the other day.
Yeah.
She seems like just an amazing rock star. She's
Absolutely,
on
yes.
top of things. She's all over it. I know
Good
some
friend of mine, doing really
council
good.
members. One of my friends just resigned for the councilor.
Yes.
Joe Saylor.
Yep.
Awesome human being. He resigned because he had to spend more time with the kids. And sometimes I'm like, is that an excuse? Joe has 10 kids. Joe's a good Catholic boy. So when he says he
Yeah.
wants to spend more time with the kids, Joe is telling the truth.
Joe's got twins in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got twins, so we've talked about that
And
before.
the fact that he's committed to serving his community as long as he has, I
Yep.
think is just what an awesome human being. The whole family's awesome. But I mean, so that you're working for two. What I think, I know the leadership in both the towns you work
Yep.
for, both Bargersville and Whiteland, and a lot of good people there, man.
Absolutely,
and trust
yes.
me, you know me well enough. And I'm like, hey, that guy's an asshole. You know?
Yeah.
No, I just you guys. Both your town managers seem to be sharp as shit.
Absolutely, yes.
Your town councils, by and large, are really good.
Yeah.
You know, I know quite a bit. What's that like? I mean, does it make your job easier to work with these people? Are they, or do you feel like because they are super smart? Because sometimes super smart, I always joke the doctor takes in his car to get the transmission fixed. He starts telling
Yeah.
the transmission tech how to fix his transmission
Yeah.
because he knows everything. What's it like working for a bunch of smart people?
It's fantastic. I chase down people that are smarter than me. That's who I want to work with
That's
all the
awesome.
time. So I always want to, I like to think I'm pretty good at what I do. So I'm always trying to find somebody that's better and learn from them. So, I learned a quote a long time ago and it stuck with me my whole career, when I first got started, because I'm very motivated. A good friend of mine told me, he said, highly motivated people spend their whole life frustrated.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Dude,
That's a good one. That would explain a lot
Yeah.
for me how
Dude, I just felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Well, I got a quote for you. You ready? Give the hardest job to the laziest person. They
Yes.
will find the easiest way to do it.
100%. Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
That's my
I'll use
gift
that one.
for
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Wholehearted.
You're ever in the office and you're just like,
Yeah.
I know who to give this to. You're gonna give this to Lopez. 10 minutes later, I got the easiest way to do
So
it.
tell us how that worked out. How do you become chief of two departments?
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
why doesn't one have a different chief?
Yeah, so one's full-time, one's part-time. So when I
And
started...
by all means, pat yourself on the back. Be done
Yeah.
with it. Let's hear about how.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm awesome.
I'm very fortunate and blessed to be where I'm at, but the ultimate reason is I was the training chief of Bargersville years ago and was in the office for probably 8 years, and then Whiteland come calling. So Norm Gabehart, who's a friend of both of us,
Yeah.
had reached out to me through social
Running
media.
for Johnson County Council District 2, by the way, Norman
Yes,
Gephardt. Give
correct,
him your
yeah.
vote. Awesome human being.
Yeah, so Norm reached out to me at the time because they had somebody step down at Whiteland. So we went and had lunch. I gave him all my thoughts on what I thought would make sense. We've become good friends since then. He ended up going to bat, bringing me in. And
He's the
so
most likable guy in the planet.
So it
Absolutely,
sounds
yes.
like he sat you down and said, "What do you think about this?" You gave him some ideas. He's like, "You're hired."
yeah, let's just say
It's
we had
yours,
one
brother.
lunch together,
Yeah.
and then he made
He
the
found
offer
somebody
afterwards.
smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I always say Norm taught me a ton. I mean, Norm knows a ton about finance and just taxes in general. So
Well, small world wise, Norm, because he retired, he was the town manager of Whiteland. He was with Greenwood before
Yeah.
that. So he retired. He lives down here in Franklin.
Yes.
The mayor of Franklin, because he's smart,
yeah,
Steve Barnett, put Norm on the
Yep.
Fire Merit Commission. Well, an opening occurred on the Board of Works.
Yeah.
Which is definitely in Norm's wheelhouse. So he asked Norm if he would lateral over to the Board of Works, and then they just had to find some idiot to replace Norm on the Fire Merit Commission. So that enters me.
Some guy named Alvery.
Alvery.
He wants some tickets.
Alvery, commissioner on the Fire Merit Commission. So
Get that one guy that wants to do everything.
That's right.
I've served on a lot of boards.
Yeah.
Over the years, and just kind of my way of giving back. I'm always on at least
Absolutely,
one. I was
yes.
on the CBT commission down here for almost 8 years with Festival Countries. Everybody knows it. And when I left that, because I don't like people that feel like they own their positions, I need to move aside and let somebody else bring their stuff to the table.
Yeah.
And the mayor gave me the opportunity to serve on the fire. I said, absolutely. It's the easiest damn board I've ever shown. Like I'm going to tell the fire chief how to fire chief.
Right.
I'm there to help with the hiring processes and go through the interviews.
But you don't do this.
And this and that.
Yeah.
The whole Fire Merit Commission is solid people, really good people.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about it, they have to have appointments from the fire chief's appointments, the mayor's, the various different appointing authorities on that. And then you have to have a balance of Republican and Democrat.
Yes, correct.
So they go out of their way to make sure it's...
Yeah.
Well, they're required to
Yeah.
do that. But we have zero political drama. Everybody's
That's awesome.
there to support that. That's why I look at my role. I'm there to support Chief Snyder.
Yes,
Period.
awesome, yeah.
I am there to advocate and support our fire department. And we don't get a weigh in on a lot of the things I wish we could, like pensions and salary, because then I'd have my opinions on that.
Yeah.
And dude, I am a fiscal hawk, but when it comes to fire service and Leos, I'm like, give them everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
These guys are it.
Yeah.
So, so I get to serve on the Fire Merit Commission here in Franklin, and that's just what an honor.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's a huge. And we have a monthly meeting. We go through things. Then we have hiring processes, and we do firing processes. Luckily, we haven't had to do. That's not a very often thing.
No.
I've never had to be a part of one. We haven't had one since I've been on.
Yep.
But yeah, I got to backfill Norm on the Fire Merit Commission.
Yeah.
So now he's on my short list. Like, hey,
Yeah.
They'll just take anybody is what I'm learning. What I'm learning is they'll just take anybody down here.
Yeah, I'm the special guy on
That's
that.
right, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's good that you support them. I mean, obviously with the events of last night and everything that happened in Beach Grove,
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome.
We were going to do a little weekly recap. We typically do each week. I'm glad but first of all, man, we lost an officer yesterday.
Officer Brian Elliott.
I don't know the status of the other one, but it's just a shame, It's I don't know about you. When I first came back from overseas, I worked in counterterrorism. When I moved back home from DC, essentially, like the counterterrorism market is so small out here. And so you just end up going to the Department of Homeland and getting lost in the shuffle.
Right. Yeah.
And it really, I really considered going to join the police department, IMPD.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through, I took the test, smashed the test. Went through
Your background, of course.
Yeah, and I show up and I smashed the physical fitness thing,
Yeah.
right? It's essentially a watered down Army PT test.
Sure, yeah.
And I go in front of the honor board and I'm smashing the honor board,
Yeah.
right? And I'm bilingual and they're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like, this is perfect.
Doing pretty good, yeah.
And then like it crossed my mind, like, I don't know if I'm ready to be shot at for $45,000 a week because I ran your plates, or $40,000 a year because I ran your plates.
Yep.
And your plates are expired, and I pull up on the car, and you start shooting at me.
Yes.
And we had an incident like that last night, and it's never lost that like these are regular members of our community.
Yep.
Protecting and serving us. And they run into these people, and now we've lost an officer. Lives, his family's lives have been changed. This idiot's in jail. Come to find out now, he has a 30-year rap sheet from multiple states.
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up because I really want to touch on something. And this is just, man, it looks like I'm flattering the guest or nothing like that. But I was a soldier for 20 years, 9 months, and 4 days. Not that I was counting.
Yeah.
When I was medically retired. Still hadn't done everything I wanted to do, but I feel really comfortable what I was able to accomplish. My biggest thing is the people I served with.
Yes.
But there is a difference for me of being a soldier and being
Public servant.
EMS, fire. Here, because collectively, now I worked as a contractor after I was retired and everything. So I got, quite a few years.
We can tell by the shirt. The shirt says you don't follow any rules. But we'll get into that later.
Shut your mouth, sir.
We'll get into that later. So that company doesn't even exist anymore.
Exactly.
And
for not following the rules.
and I love free shit. So my biggest fear, the entire guys get messed up, whatever. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Rub dirt on it.
Yeah.
I have a big issue when women are in distress. And then I have a major issue when children are in distress.
Sure.
So my constant prayer of all my times, I just don't want to be a part of. I just don't want to be there for anything collateral damage with kids.
Sure, yeah.
And by the grace of God, that never occurred to me, which is remarkable because the last time I was over there, I was the PM for the whole country.
Yep.
And I was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was the chief.
Yeah.
Lowercase c. And I thought about law enforcement and fire service, because we all do as
It's
men.
a natural progression.
Yes, absolutely,
military, paramilitary. I got this. I get the system.
Camaraderie.
I know how to
get rules.
I know
I
how
get
to
rank.
respect
Yeah,
rank.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I opted not to do it because I just know me. We have this process of emotions that we go through. I would have went right from regular to rage.
You pull somebody right.
If I'd have showed up, so I'll use.
There would be no mugshot, sir.
An
There would be
example.
no mugshot.
An example of something that law enforcement and fire service would both have to respond to if there was an accident where a child is
Domestic
mangled
violence.
or
Yes.
dead,
Yep.
and domestic or drunken drive, just careless behavior. Yeah. Man, I'd have made a hood ornament out of that dude. So I, to know thy own self, be true, know your strengths and weaknesses. That is absolutely my weakness. I couldn't handle. I think you guys are absolutely fucking saints.
Yeah,
for what you guys do.
Well,
I can't do it.
I've heard some stories before, and you would be the best person to ask that. And this is in Indianapolis, so maybe it doesn't happen out here. I hope it doesn't.
Sure.
But moments where like people shoot at the fire truck.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
You said, "Oh
nationwide
yeah,"
right now.
very quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't happen around here, thankfully, but it's happening nationwide. So it's something that we're training on and being prepared for.
Listen, I'm not trying to say you should shoot at the police, okay? But you're shooting at the fire truck.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't hit anybody.
This shows you how weird it's changed over the years. I mean, we now have bulletproof vests on the trucks.
For the firemen.
For the firemen,
Good Lord.
We've never, we didn't have to do that back in the day when I first started.
Can I ask you a question?
And
this may sound dumb because I can understand in incidents where the police have interactions and sometimes there's different perspectives.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody's ever had beef with the fire department. So, in what situation would the fire department even be viewed as a threat?
So in those domestic situations that can turn ugly, you know what I mean? So if we show up, normally there's a hot zone, a warm zone, and a cold zone. So we try and do our best to stay back, let the police go forward.
Sure.
So, but if we're out there, you know what I mean? And, if police are getting into it, use that situation.
You happen to be in the area anyway.
Yeah, we're going to be in the area anyway. You know what I mean? So,
one thing I've talked to friends of mine that are medics, paramedics, firefighter, EMS. People get combative in the ambulance, man.
Oh yeah.
They get crazy in the ambulance.
Yep.
They you got. All of them should be going to jiu-jitsu training.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So,
there should be defensive tactics.
I
know a couple guys.
Plug for the Franklin Jiu-Jitsu
Listen,
Club.
I don't need security when you're hanging out with these two assholes. I'm good.
So
look at Aaron. Aaron just got his. Hey, kudos to Aaron for a purple belt.
Purple belt.
Purple belt in the house.
Sir.
Congrats.
But Aaron and I go to.
They practice in case you come after me. My security will fuck you up.
Got you.
As long as you come after them with a gi on.
That's right,
And grab their belts.
You were in the spandex suit.
Yeah,
I got you.
exactly.
So the Franklin Jiu-Jitsu Club here in Franklin is actually owned and operated by black belt Jason Ramey, to which is who to you?
He's a captain at the fire department.
Yes, he
that's
is.
awesome.
Yes. So he's a captain. Me and Jason Ramey have been friends for 20, 30 years. I came on in 1999. Jason came on in 2000. So
you
we've
guys
known
know each other for forever. You guys
for a
are
long
little
time.
idiots, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I need you to.
And we're both getting to that point at the end of our careers. So we're just trying to figure out what's the end. You know what I mean?
Pull a little rank and tell him to be a little nicer to me.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah.
He chokes me all the time.
He said he'll wait and see how this comes out. So you
Don't hurt me, Jason.
So you referenced it earlier. Man, I've seen some gnarly scars in my life.
Yeah.
That scar is gnarly.
Yes.
Chicks dig it though.
Chicks definitely
dig
dig
scars.
it. But you referenced brain surgery or something. What did you say there? You said you were in the hospital post surgery. You still were working.
Oh yeah. So I'll just to kind of give you a little heads up on what my last couple of years have been, without getting emotional, hopefully. But in 2024, my wife and I were driving to Walmart, and she knew that something was going on where I was having some, issues and being aggravated. She just thought it was budget season and that stress was getting to me and stuff like that. But she had noticed it probably for 6 months prior, and I get physicals every year at the fire department. So, everything was coming back fine. No blood work was causing any or having any issues or, anything calling for further treatment. So drove to Walmart on Labor Day, and we had done mattress shopping all day. Well, we needed to get new sheets that night. So we were sitting having dinner that night, and I was aggravated that we had to go get sheets. So I said, let's go. We ended up standing up, just leaving the dinner on the table and walking out and going to Walmart.
Oh,
well,
wow.
yeah, so on the way to Walmart, I ended up having a large seizure. So I remember pulling on to US 31 is the last thing I remember.
You were driving?
I was driving,
Did you feel anything when you left dinner?
No, didn't feel a thing. So
Just hit you?
yeah, it just hit me. So I was not feeling a thing. Was driving to Walmart, and the only reason we were arguing back and forth on the way to Walmart, and a lot of it.
Yeah, because you made everybody get up at dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
so
of
she
course.
wasn't real happy.
I'm like, you got in
Yeah.
trouble for that. I know that.
We were griping about buying sheets, you know what I mean, about her not being happy with the bed and stuff like that. So ended up driving
Typical
down.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, just normal life.
Don't
so
get married.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would
I love
disagree
my
with
wife.
that.
Way to save it, fellas.
Yeah.
One of us is single, two of us is married.
For the record, I do not agree with what Jerry just said. I love my wife.
There you go.
Yeah,
See,
me too.
they're
So,
trained.
Yeah, my wife is my
Disclaimer.
boss.
She
for
saved.
sure.
Sounds
Yeah.
like she might have saved your life.
She did, yeah. So
I
we
got to get to know her a lot
Yes.
the other night.
Yep.
Dude, she's a rock star, dude.
Oh, she is a rock star. Yeah.
Let's continue.
So you've ruined dinner.
I've run dinner.
You're going
yeah.
to get these stupid sheets.
That was
and you
after
have a seizure.
Yeah. So I pull into Walmart, not knowing anything, and we're arguing back and forth. I don't even remember the argument, you know what I mean, at that point. So I
Right.
was already out of it, and so I couldn't tell you anything that happened. She can remind me of the whole conversation. And she said she looked over when I
She
pulled
still
it.
hold it against you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She's adding. Every time they talk, she adds stuff.
The problem is she still has to give me a medical excuse at this point. So she, she has to give me a pass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we pull into Walmart. You know what I mean? We're barking back and forth. And she said next thing she knows, normally when I pull into Walmart, I go left first and then go down another aisle. She said when I pulled in, I went straight. And she looked over and she said I had a 1,000,000-mile stare. And my eyes were locked on, straight ahead, and I'm going down the wrong lane that I've never gone down before. Said she looked over and all of a sudden I started twitching and my head was hitting the windshield, or the window beside me. So I ended up the car slowed down naturally and we pulled over. She jumped across the console of the car, put it in park, hit the brakes, drug me out of the car, you know what I mean, called 911 and everything else. So she was
She
a
drug
rock star.
you out of the car?
She drugged me out of the car.
You're
yeah.
not small.
That's a big man. That's a
And
big
your
dude.
wife's not big.
Yeah. No, but she's pretty strong. I
She's
will
got
say
that.
that.
It's that
Yes,
mom strength, dude. The car was on her
Yeah.
baby.
I always say I will not mess with my wife. I
Wow.
mean, she's one of the toughest people I know.
So they come pick you up. This metal car. First of all, did you get? The
You're out of
Did
it,
she
right?
get the sheets anyway?
No, we'd never got the
All right,
sheets.
she's never got it.
She kept all the dinner plates and the drinks and everything from that night because what happened was we ended up, they drugged me out of the car. 911 showed up. Ambulance got there. She said I was barking at him,
Was
yelling
it
at
your
him.
people? Like, is this home?
No, so this was in Franklin.
Okay.
So it wasn't in Bargersville or Whiteland,
Yep.
but
Which
everyone.
I imagine you know a lot of them.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she said
You're the
that
chief.
she was yelling at 911 on dispatch, you know what I mean, saying, hurry up, get here, what's going on, and what's taking so long. And when they got there, she said they were like trying to push her back and, trying to get her out of the way. And they're like, holy crap, this is Chief Funkhouser.
Yeah,
Yes, they
yeah.
got me on the floor, on the parking lot of Walmart. And they're like, did he take any drugs? What's going on? Just trying to figure out all
Standard
this stuff.
questions.
Yeah, standard questions that we all ask.
We
So-
knew he was doing
Yeah,
drugs.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's wired like that.
So how do you go from that to surgery?
Yeah, so that night they loaded me up in the ambulance. I wrestled with them all the way to the hospital. So Brooke said I was,
Literally,
yeah.
we referenced this guy.
Again, jujitsu in the Babylon.
I mean, listen, this is. I just looked
Yeah.
at the police chief and said, "Why do you need this?" And you
Yes.
said people get crazy in the ambulance, and the chief is
Yeah.
saying,
I'm in the
he
back just rocking
get
it, trying
crazy
to
in
rock
the ambulance.
Yeah. I'm sitting there trying to, fight the firefighters.
But you're out
and
of it.
EMT.
You
I
don't
have
know
no
what's
clue,
going
yeah.
on.
So they get me over to Johnson
Do
Memorial.
you have any recollection of any of it?
I remember nothing until probably 2 hours later. So
Okay.
2 hours later, I remember waking up in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed. I remember seeing firefighters that I knew screaming at me to calm down, and I was just in a rage.
wow, the
Yeah,
Hulk.
so I was in a Hulk mode.
Yeah.
I was grabbing the bed, just trying to break the
Yeah.
bed. So I put both arms through the rails of the hospital bed and was just trying to bend them in half. Yeah,
That a baby?
yeah,
Should
exactly.
have
Yeah.
called Jason Ramey.
Yes. My kids won't own this, but I am going to tell this story. So my wife called them, and she's like, they were at work that day, and she's like, hey, just telling you right now, you know what I mean? Something happened to Dad. You got to get home. Sorry.
We're all dads.
Yeah.
Trust me, we're all dads.
Take your time with it, dude.
Yeah, we're dads.
She's like, you got to get home. Take your time. Don't run too fast. So they drove an hour to get home because they were in Bloomington. And they said when they got there that they're like, don't tell Dad, but he can still kick our ass.
Listen, we saw what Dad can do. He fucked that bed
So
up.
an hour afterwards, we were still wrestling. You know what I mean? So finally, the hospital called and, you know, got their management because it was a holiday weekend, you know, being Labor Day. So they got management on the phone and she said, knock him out.
Ruined people's weekend, dude. Long weekend.
Give him the nap.
Yeah, they said put him to sleep. So they put me to sleep for basically 24 hours.
Okay.
So knocked me out, you know, got me out so they didn't have to wrestle me anymore. Took me down to CT. I don't remember any of this, you know, CT scan. Right. They found a large mass in the CT scan.
On your brain?
On my brain, yes. So they knew that something wasn't right, and that's what was causing the seizure. So,
and the pressure was causing...
Yeah, it was on my emotions and my anger lobe. So, I mean, it was pushing on things that...
Well, that explains why you're angry.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But also it makes me wonder, like you said, and granted, I mean... I'm not here to disparage the physical, right?
Yeah.
But like, should they have caught something like that, or is that something that's only going to be caught by a CT? Maybe this literally saved your life.
It did save. I tell people all the time the seizure saved my life.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, that's weird to say, but
no,
if I hadn't had the seizure, I mean, this tumor had been growing for 3 to 5 years, is what the neurosurgeon ended up telling me. So,
how big was that thing?
Probably the size of a walnut. So what most people don't realize is...
That's a lot of pressure on your phone.
It is a lot of pressure, yeah.
Have you been looking back like bad luck? I know we argued.
Well, so they asked me all kinds of questions, you know, like, is your arms going numb? You know what I mean? Did you have any problems walking or anything? Or headaches? Well, I mean, you get a normal headache and you're thinking caffeine, I didn't sleep enough or stuff like that. So, I mean, you don't even put 2 and 2 together. So yes, I'd had headaches, but never once had I, ever put that together. And like you said, nobody will ever catch a brain tumor.
Well, you had a stressful job.
Correct.
The symptoms you just assume are part of your job.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So ultimately, they transferred me to the St. Francis or Franciscan Hospital up in Indianapolis. So I went up there. They did a full MRI and found a large mass. You know what I mean? So confirmed it again. I was in the ICU for 24 hours, and a good friend of mine, Dr. Alan Barton, who had they called him at home and told him that I was what was going on. He picked up the phone and called a neurosurgeon that night and said, hey, listen, I know you're on vacation. It's holiday weekend. He said, you are going to get your ass in here and take this case. So
that's awesome.
And he did. He dropped everything, came in that night, and met me at the hospital at Franciscan the next day. So when I woke up, when I finally started coming out of it, I had no clue what was going on. I'm waking up, groggy as all get out. I've got a catheter in, you know what I mean? So you're waking up, you have no clue what's happening, and all of a sudden you start hearing people talking about tumors and stuff like that. So that's how I figured it out.
You're talking about me?
Yes, exactly.
So when you woke up in the hospital that time, what was the last thing you remember? Driving in the car?
That's a lot. Yeah, I remember. I still tell people I remember turning left at Enzo's. So I was on the bypass, on Westview Boulevard, and I turned left at Enzo's.
So remember stupid sheets.
I remember the fight. Yeah,
you remember turning left at Enzo's. And now, despite all the fighting, despite everything in the ambulance, despite the next thing you remember is you're waking up after they gave you the shot, said, "Put this dude to sleep."
This is over 24 hours later.
Yeah,
24 hours.
Somebody
later,
just turns your switch back on.
Yeah,
and now they're talking about we're gonna do surgery on you.
Yeah, you just kind of wake up and all of a sudden,
Van Winkle time warp.
Yeah, so there was not to be mean, there was a neurologist in the room at the time. She was talking all kinds of stuff, and I still say to this day, she was nice, but me and my wife didn't connect with her instantly.
Yeah.
But the neurosurgeon that Dr. Barton had called, Dr. Kushal Shaw, was in the room, and just his bedside manner and just the talking of him.
We always, people always talk about doctors with their God complex. Yeah, dude, some of these doctors are they're wizards.
Yes,
they are wizards.
Absolutely.
I got a friend of mine. He's an ER doc. Shout out Brian Hartman.
Yeah,
and just the shit they can do.
Yeah,
is just. I can't wrap my head around it. People might argue, I'm a pretty smart guy. I cannot wrap my head around the level of intellect that they have.
Absolutely.
So medical stuff.
So my little sister is a pediatric physician. My dad, he's passed now. Greatest man I ever knew, was a first assistant for cardiologists. And you talk about, that was back in the day where you put the red light on your car.
Yes.
And yeah. Starsky and Hutch, baby.
Yeah, he'd be like, we got a heart showing up. And they would like drive and pick up a heart in like a
Yep.
cooler box and then go do surgery on somebody. And like you think that it's autopilot for those guys, but I can tell you right now, like there were moments where like somebody didn't make it, and my pops was shut down for 48 hours at home.
Oh, absolutely,
He
yeah.
would just wear it, you know, the same way any of us would feel if we, you know, you struck out to end the game, and you're like, it's all on me. Like that's what these. As much as we say God
Probably
complex,
tenfold.
as much as we say God complex, like
Yeah.
they're on the
Did they
other end.
earn
On
it?
the other end, they feel
Oh,
like
absolutely,
you
yeah.
know.
So you're woke up.
Yeah.
You're kind of catching up with everybody else.
Yes.
On your own shit.
Yep.
So where are we at? So you're
Totally groggy, have no clue what's going on.
Now, did it take a minute to get your faculties so where you could start to process?
Yeah, if you ask
this?
my wife, I asked her, did I have a stroke like 10 times? And she's like, you did not have a stroke. So, you know, she kept answering me on that one, but I kept repeating it. And finally, you know, Dr. Shaw stepped in, and that's where, like I said, I knew right then and there who was going to do my surgery. So he was like, hey, we need to talk to you. He goes, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you can't drive for 6 months because you had a seizure. He said, so you've lost your license. You know what I mean? That's done. He said, you have a brain tumor. You know what I mean? We have no clue what type of tumor it is or how aggressive it is. He goes, but I'm very aggressive at what I do. And he goes, I think we have a great plan in place. He said, what we do from this point is, he
Love
goes,
the confidence.
yeah, and that's what I loved about him.
He seems sure.
Yeah, exactly. He
Let's
goes,
go.
I know what I can do. He
You're
said,
a firefighter. You're
Yeah.
a fire chief. You're like, when that doctor said, I got this,
Yeah.
you're like,
I'm aggressive.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
And it sounds terrible, but we made the neurologist in the room mad because my wife was talking to her, and she's like, my recommendation is you do this, this, and this. And my wife looked at her and goes, we're doing what he says.
Yeah.
To the Dr. Shaw. And she goes, well, looks like you've made your decision. She goes, yes, we have.
Yeah.
So,
Don't go way bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you have that conversation. How long until surgery?
So I think I was in the hospital for another 24 hours. And then
quick.
So basically they released me and said, Dr. Shaw looked at me and he said, this is not an emergency. We don't have to do emergency surgery. He said, we do have to deal with it pretty quickly. He said,
Yeah.
go home, take it easy. He goes, call my office, get something set up. And he goes, bring your family with you and come in here and let's sit down and talk about it. So I was like, perfect. So got released, you know, was in the wheelchair, got rolled out, got to go home, you know, from the ICU, went home, rested up for a day or two, and then went back to his office, which is Goodman Campbell Brain and Spine Clinic.
Yep.
So met him in Greenwood, you know what I mean, at his office. And that's what sold us on him was, you know, bring your family. So mom, or, you know, wife, 2 boys and everything got to go in there. And
Bedside manner matters.
oh, it matters. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is how you treat people.
And him understand that it's not just you. Like there's a whole group of people behind you that,
Oh, he's,
that you're
yeah.
probably more worried about than yourself.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And he, that's the cool thing. He's become like a family friend to us, you know what I mean? So we text all the time.
He
and
kind of
keeps up-
earned
yeah.
that one, didn't he?
Yes, he did, yeah.
He's like, I wish this guy Eric would stop freaking texting me, man.
I love you, man.
No, it's funny. He's our biggest cheerleader at this point. I mean, he's always cheering us on. He's like, keep bringing awareness, keep doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. You know what I mean?
So you get the consultation.
Yeah.
It's obviously an invasive surgery that you need.
So he gave me 3 options. So we go in there and he's like, listen, he goes, this isn't an emergency that we got to race into. He goes, here's your 3 options. And he goes, I'll be pretty honest with you. He goes, option 1 is you let it grow. He goes, I don't recommend that. He goes, you're having seizures. You know what I mean? You've got anger issues. So he goes, we can't just sit and wait and see what happens.
Now, let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Were you ever known for a bad temper before that? Or was this really out of character?
Really out of character.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
And with
By
you,
all means, continue.
And
I
with
just
you
wanna-
already having some symptoms, aka the seizure,
Yeah.
and what you're even viewing is like, man, I was a little ticked off that day.
Yes.
So your wife's already picking up on this is not my
Oh, yeah.
husband.
At that point, it seems like you already have a little bit of pressure on the brain.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So we had a lot of pressure on the brain. So he goes,
First option,
first
do
option,
nothing for a while.
second option, he goes, and I don't recommend this one either. He goes, we do a biopsy. He goes, you go through all the stuff
cut
of, you
it
know,
and nah.
we cut a piece out and we send it off, get it tested. It tells us what it is. He goes, then we decide what to do. And he
Still
goes,
needs to go away.
and he said, third option, he goes, and this is the one I'm recommending. He goes, and I'm telling this to you and your family. He said, we go in, you prep for surgery. He goes, we do a craniotomy. We cut open your skull. We cut out the majority of the tumor and just get it done. He goes, I'm very aggressive. I feel very good about this. He goes, but I am going to warn you, there is a good chance you'll have 30 days of paralysis afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he's like, he goes, so that's the downside. You know what I mean? Is when you wake up, you may not be able to move for 30 days. So, yeah.
Like
That's scary
neck
though.
down?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen.
No, it was everything.
After 2 days, you start wondering if it's gonna be like this for forever, bro.
And he's like, I don't want you to be freaked out. He said, you know, when you come out, he said, if you can't move, he goes,
It's normal.
it's normal. He
That's
goes,
terrifying.
it does come back. He said, but it may take up to 30 days before it comes
All
back.
the wiring has to reconnect.
Everything has to reconnect.
So I mean, the question is, what options did you go with?
I went with 3 because with his confidence and just the saying of everything he was doing, to me, I wasn't going to go through a full surgery prep, just to have something cut out and
And then
see what
to
it
go
is.
back
Yeah,
again.
to go do it again. Yeah.
If it's gonna suck, let's get the suck over with.
Well, that's exactly what I did. And I looked at my wife and kids. I let them make the decision. Now, they weren't happy with me because he said, we can do it at the end of the month. Let's get it scheduled.
You want to do it today?
And I said, he looked at his calendar and he goes, we just had a cancellation for September 16th. So you got to think it was like September 3rd or 4th, by the time I'm doing all those meetings. So I said, I want the 16th. Let's get it done as fast as we can.
Do you think that mindset is, once again, from the firemen, from the vet? Like, I would think if it's got to suck, let's get it over with, dude.
That's exactly what
Let's
I
get it
went.
over with right now. It's
already
going
knew
to suck
no
regardless.
matter
I don't
what,
want to
it's gonna
think
be
about it for
terrible.
another 4 months. Let's just get
Worst
over
part
it.
about the whole thing was just waiting around. You know
The
what I mean?
anticipation.
The anticipation.
Yeah.
And it was,
I call that the pre-fight shakes.
yeah.
Let's just get over with. So take us through the day. Take us through the days leading up, because probably very scary.
I call it my death tour, is what I
Yeah,
like
because
to
you don't
call it.
know,
Yeah.
man. And that's like, as a
Yeah.
parent, like that
Dude,
sucks.
Expand on that. That's the
Ultimately,
death tour.
yeah,
You're saying goodbye to people.
You are, yeah. So for whatever, from the 4th to the 16th, I mean, we're running around doing living wills, you know what I mean? Finances and everything with my wife, medical authorizations, giving her power of attorney on everything
I remember that
to make the
first time
decisions.
I-
Yeah,
well,
exactly. Yeah. So
But it wasn't the same. I didn't have a frickin'
I mean,
tumor in my
yours was just in case. He's like at the
Yes.
fucking door, like,
Yes.
all right, so there is a chance.
yeah, absolutely. So we do all that, and then from that point, you know what I mean? That's the hardest part is for the next 2 weeks, before surgery, it was just constant people scheduling to come in and, say hi and travel across the state.
So when my pops died, he had melanoma, and when they put him in hospice, I remember being pissed off at everybody, because to me it felt like quitting.
Yes,
Right? It's like,
right,
oh,
yeah.
we just fucking quit on
Yep,
Dad now.
exactly.
Like, I snapped, and I was divorced and I lived with him, and I remember saying, man, every conversation Dad has is about fucking cancer.
Yes.
Hey, Dad. Hey, how you feeling today, Uncle? Hey, how you feeling today, cousin?
Yeah.
Hey, what did the doctor say? And it's like, when in those moments I got to talk to my dad, man. Like, I act like he wasn't even sick.
Yep.
Hey, did you see Jonathan Taylor had 2 fumbles last night? Like,
Yeah.
it like, take me through some
Yeah.
of those conversations that, you and the boys. And it's like, fellas, like, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, the worst part for me was, and I tell people this all the time, the hardest part was the day of surgery. So, after 2 weeks of meeting with everybody and
I was
talking
gonna
to
say,
everybody, yeah.
your wife is a champ, dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
She's a rock and a champ to be going through all
Yeah.
this shit. Holy, I don't even, you haven't even described it, but I can just see it.
Oh, she's a rock star.
Good.
I tell her
Dude,
people
I'm
all the
a
time, she's
fucking
10
rock.
times, yeah. She's 10 times tougher than I am.
Oh, good
so,
God.
yeah.
How old are the boys when this is happening?
So they're 20.
And do you have twin boys?
Twin boys, they're 21 now. So they were 19 going on 20 at the time. So, worried about is Dad going to make it? Is this the end?
And now my relationship with Dad is so different than,
Yeah.
like, now it's like, Dad's my friend. Dad was fucking right, Dad. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
now I want to ask Dad stuff.
Yes, exactly,
Like, Dad knows
yeah.
what he's talking about. And
Yep.
and out of nowhere, you go out to eat, and now it's like, all right, kids.
Yep.
In 14 days, Dad's having this surgery. And like, did you like? I mean, it's a reality, and I don't. Did you like prep your kids for life after you? Did you leave them letters of notes from Dad?
So
Did you
I
like
did
how
leave them
much
a-
did you have to face that reality?
So the hardest part was I waited until surgery day. So the good news is the night before surgery, you got to do all the prep work for surgery the next day. So they had told me everything that was going to go on and how it was all going to be. So I knew exactly what schedule was. And, so the morning of, I slept that night, which that's the biggest
How?
blessing. How in the
Dude,
world did I
feel
sleep?
like,
Yeah.
I feel like you were still fucking fire chief. You were like,
Oh, yeah.
you were still taking, hey, it's going to be fine. This is going to happen. You're
Yes.
dictating
I mean, it's
schedule.
autopilot, but that's military autopilot.
Yeah, that's-
right.
that's-
And
yeah.
honestly,
That's leadership.
And,
Yeah.
and honestly, like,
You were
I'm
still
just
leading
gonna
your
guess-
family in your own personal crisis.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess. I bet you were still doing some chief work.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you probably looked forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, it was nice to get
Just
a break
to get
and to do
not
stuff.
think
Yeah.
about something else other than this stupid stuff that I've had to focus
Well,
on.
that was the hardest part is like family, you know what I mean? Friends driving all over the state, coming down. I mean, it got to the point where it was so busy at our house that we were scheduling people to come in, you know what I mean? So,
and those
like
people
from 2
and
to
those,
3,
and those
you get
people
an hour
mean
time.
well,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like.
I need some space.
I hated
Yeah.
those conversations. Like those people, like they all wanted my dad to get better, just like
Well,
they wanted you
yes,
to get better. But it's like,
exactly,
look, fellas,
yeah.
I'm already sad enough.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to keep
And
talking
you
about
had
it.
to keep having the same
Yeah.
Same
So
conversation.
how,
yeah.
everyone, how you feeling today, bud?
Yep. Yeah,
Like
what's
said,
going on?
man.
Yeah.
And those suck.
Yeah, I could die in 2 weeks.
So
that's
you-
exactly.
I would have came in like, dude, you want to drink some bourbon?
Yeah, exactly.
So you said you waited until the day before.
Yeah, so the day before, so I slept that night before surgery. I woke up like 2 or 3 hours before surgery. I remember going out back and sitting by the pool and just recording goodbye videos to my kids and to my wife. So I tell people all the time, that'll change you. Sorry.
Did you ever show them the video?
No,
They never seen it?
they don't want to see it.
I wouldn't want to see it either.
Yeah.
Still got them.
Yep.
It'll change you. Like the fact
know
that you
what?
did it.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a reminder for you to go back.
I was gonna say,
that's
but-
my
Oh,
yeah.
priority.
But-
That's my priority.
But like
Yep.
at that moment, do you think do you think you had a moment in that moment where like life kind of said, look, all this
my
other
moment,
shit
yeah.
that we're worried about,
Yeah.
man, like the car payment and the this, like
Yep.
what really matters? Like
Tax increment finance.
I didn't say goodbye to my car. I didn't say goodbye to my car.
Yeah.
I didn't say goodbye to my dart buddies. I said goodbye to my kids.
My moment came in the hospital after surgery. Just sitting there listening to people scream and yell in the wings at night. That was my biggest moment. So it hit me hard. You know what I mean? You don't sit there and think, man, I sure wish I worked more. You know what I mean? While you're laying in a hospital bed, you're just like, I wish I'd have done more with my family and kids.
So you're in the hospital. You're doing your stuff. Goodbye, Dad. They go away. You're wondering if you're ever going to see them again. Now you're trusting this kick-ass doctor.
Yes,
And you're
exactly,
like,
yeah.
all right, bud, if it's me and you and I got to bet on somebody, I'm betting on you.
Yep.
You're the man. My wife knew. We knew.
Yep.
You wake up from surgery because you don't know anything. You
Oh,
wake
yeah.
up, and what's the first thing you hear?
So honestly, the day of surgery, I go back to this story. You know what I mean? So you continue your death tour that morning. So when we showed up that morning, luckily there was probably 50 to 100 firefighters outside cheering us
See,
on. when we
but
went
even
inside.
that's
Yeah.
a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, it was a
that
bunch,
feels like
yeah.
a death.
Yeah, exactly.
It's somber.
Yeah. Yes.
Somber.
Yeah. But they were clapping.
But
you know
he's
what I
been
mean?
depressed for 2 weeks.
Yeah, depressed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you know what I mean? The best part of those 2 weeks was just eating pizza and drinking beer with the friends. You know what I mean? So
Getting back
the
to what
days where I
matters.
just sat on the couch with the dog and, got to spend time with family and our closest friends. I mean, that's ultimately
Yeah.
what,
get
got
another
us
dog.
through. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we ended up getting 2 more afterwards. So, yeah,
Make
we're
you softy, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does. So, yeah, we did surgery that day, you know what I mean? So that morning you go in, I do an MRI first thing in the morning. They're getting prepped and ready for surgery. So you go into prep room, and then in the prep room, they let people come back and see you 2 or 3 at a time. So it was just
Is
like I said,
pre-op?
Pre-op, yeah. So it was, like I said, that continued the death tour. Every person that came in is crying, you know what I mean?
Like you're
Is this-
dying.
Yeah, exactly. Is this the last time I'm going to see Eric?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, hardest one was my sister. So,
Really?
yeah,
Baby sister, older sister?
baby sister.
How
So
many
she's
how
like
many of you guys
4
are
or
there?
5 years younger than I am.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 1.
So this is it.
This is it, yeah.
You're big
Was that
brother. You're
because you
big
were-
brother.
Yeah,
Was
I'm
that
big
because
brother,
you
yeah.
were de facto protector for years?
Yes, absolutely. Well, and then ultimately, like I said, I mean, mom and dad died at a young age, so we were young. She was like 18 and 21.
You're
when
kind
she
of-
lost her
stepped
parents.
into
Yeah.
more of a parental
Yeah.
role.
So, I mean, I'm the last living, blood relative to her, you know what I mean, when you figure it that way. So, ultimately she came in and was talking to me. I mean, all my friends were coming in and rotating in and out, and I'm just sitting there getting prepped with IVs and all the other stuff that they're getting me ready for surgery.
Are you worried at this point?
Oh,
Have
yeah,
people
absolutely, yeah.
convinced you that maybe you might die?
Yes, absolutely.
You've
yeah.
heard it enough.
Yeah,
People-
you hear it enough, and then, like I said, you walk in, everybody's cheering you on, which is fantastic.
So it's
but,
not just dying from the tumor. You could die on the table.
Yeah.
This
You
is
can
a
absolutely die on the
fucking
He's about to have
amazingly.
Yeah.
brain surgery, bro.
This is an.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more invasive surgery than you fucking had.
no.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his surgery is a
and that's
kudos
the
to
first
the
surgery
medical.
that I've ever had in my life was a craniotomy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, go all out, YOLO.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're
And
gonna
if
go
you're
big, go
fucking
big.
aim high.
But I mean, it's a
fucking
kudos.
overachiever over here.
Listen, you got to be everything.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, kudos first of all to just
So
where we are
you're
medically
there.
as
Yeah.
a country now, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody's now. You're at some point. Everybody's out of the room.
Yes.
Everybody's out. You and the doc.
The last thing I remember is the doc come in and talk to me. All of the
Anesthesiology, putting you under.
anesthesiologist comes in, and my sister. I remember her, going out in the hallway and walking out and crying, and then coming back in and hugging me again, crying again, just to say goodbye. Sorry.
Don't stop saying sorry.
So-
There's no sorry, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking shit. It's real.
So then they come in and they're like, it's time to go. So they unlock the bed. They start rolling you down the hallway. And I tell people, you have no idea what it's like to see the double doors at the end of the hallway. And then when they open the double doors, you walk in and there's, they roll you in and it's just bright as can be, lights everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like a theater. And you see the metal table.
So this is cinematic for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So in your mind, you're like, this is it. I'm not coming out of this. So you climb up on the table. I don't remember anything from there. You know what I mean? The anesthesiologist.
That works fast.
Yeah, it went fast. Yeah, I didn't do any. I didn't do any countdown. I didn't do anything. Next thing I know, he said it was dead on 3 hours, and this guy was to a T. Dr. Shaw, started at 11 at 1:30, 2 o'clock or whatever. He's like completely done, and he's texting my wife the whole time, telling her what's going on, keeping her involved. Because we had probably 30 or 40 people in the waiting room that day. So.
Dude, that's wild.
Get done. I remember waking up in the PACU, which is where you kind of come out of surgery, and it was an old firefighter of mine that was in there that I'd worked with years ago. And he's like, man, you did fantastic, and I'm just totally out of it.
That's who you woke up to?
That's who I woke up to.
What'd you think when you saw his face?
The bad part is I still don't remember his name.
That's perfect. But I'm like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
yeah.
Is this heaven?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, we think he's still angry.
Well, it's funny, when you come out of it, everything in my mind, my memory was still there. It was... you could be paralyzed. So, as soon as I woke up, I'm just like...
Did you move?
Moving my fingers, moving my feet.
You can move?
I can move everything, yeah.
I mean, you remember that?
Let me ask you.
Hey, you remember that, Chief?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, because you're out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I've come out of anesthesiology.
Yeah.
Often. I've had a lot of different surgeries.
I had one.
Nothing.
It's freaky, bro.
Nothing like this. But I'm sure you remember, it's like he said you might be paralyzed. So
Yeah.
when you're moving everything, you're like, oh shit, did I make it? Yeah.
Well, they kept saying, why are you moving your feet and your hands? And I'm like...
I might not be able to. So
I'm
how
like,
long
I'm
is it
just making
before you
sure.
got to see the kids? Where were they? Where was the...
So it was probably... So they got to come up and see me in PACU. And so
were they at home or they were at the hospital?
They were still at the hospital, yeah.
Were people like on rounds? Basically go up there, sit with Chief?
Yes.
All right, go sit with Chief.
Yeah. So for the next 2 weeks, you know what I mean? So after surgery, they got to bring them back. They had moved me back to ICU after the PACU. And that's when they went and got Brooke and the kids and said, hey, come see him. So Brooke got to see me in the PACU. I don't think the boys did. So they brought me, I'm back in the ICU that night, because it's going to take 24 hours of ICU before I get moved up to another wing.
So explain to people that might not know, what's a PACU?
Post-acute care unit. So that's obviously, where you
Gotcha.
wake up from surgery and everything else.
got
So,
it,
I woke up, had 45 staples in my head, you know what I mean? I had no clue, in pain.
I thought
not
I was
a ton of
badass
pain. Yeah.
for 12 in my shoulder.
Yeah.
18 in my shin.
So they moved me back to the ICU. They went and grabbed Brooke and the kids, and they said, hey, you can come back and see him now. So, I'm still recovering, waking up. And
What was
it was bad. So they brought him in, and
I bet you looked horrible.
yeah, I looked terrible, you know what I mean? And my
Wrapped
eyes weren't
and-
all looking the right way.
Yeah.
So Brooke said when she brought the boys in that they basically buckled and went, turned bright
Get him
white.
out of here. Yeah, he's alive. Get him out of here.
They're like, he's alive, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's not Dad.
Dad went through a lot.
Yeah, so they're like, she said they almost buckled, got sick, thought they were going to pass out. She
hard,
said she's
man.
never seen two 19-year-olds almost drop that quick. So she's like,
That's her fucking dad.
and they're
Yeah.
like, hey,
That's
something.
their
They're
dad.
like,
The
that is
emotional
not-
attachment makes it hard.
Their story is that's not Dad. You know what I mean? So he's not all there. You know what I mean? Because I was looking left and different things like that, and my eyes weren't. I sound like Sling Blade and everything
Yeah.
else. So.
That's
After a surgery,
that's
yeah,
not cool.
That's right. Yeah. So
Get him in here.
yeah, fried potatoes.
So what was recovery like? How long were you in the hospital?
13 days is how long I was in the hospital. So, they ended up
What
calling
hospital are you in?
Franciscan.
So you went up there for your
St.
surgery?
Francis?
Yeah, St. Francis.
You went up
yeah.
there for surgery and left 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, yeah. So after that, they ended up calling Dr. Shaw back that night, and he come racing back because they're like, he can't follow, his finger can't follow your eyes or anything like that. His eyes can't move the right way. So, with his speech being messed up. So they called Dr. Shaw back. He come racing back in plain clothes that night after surgery. And he's like, this is fine. We just got to build him back up and get him to where he needs to be. So, trying to explain that to my kids and my wife, you know what I mean, right after.
I don't want to skip any of this,
Yeah.
but I do have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I've gathered some things off of your personality.
Yeah.
Where Chief to me is Colonel, right? You know what I mean? Sergeant Major, right?
Yeah.
At what point were you like, I gotta go back to the firehouse?
Well, you said you did a meeting.
I mean, yeah, you had a meeting
Yeah.
in the office.
You said you were there 13 days total,
Yeah.
but you said you had a meeting after 3.
I've got shit to do.
Yeah, I
I
was
got
in
shit I'd
trouble.
rather do than sit here and watch Golden Girls.
Yeah, so they moved me, from the ICU up to the neuro wing, you know what I mean, the next day. But that was a big fight between us and, insurance and stuff like that. So, yeah, so
Fucking devil. devils.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay for it. Pay for it your whole life. For
Yeah. You
surgery.
need it, yeah. Somebody in a basement somewhere is going to deny you.
Yeah.
And that drives me crazy.
You're better off being a Somali daycare owner.
Right.
That's
So
where the
Brooke
big money's at.
fought everybody, you know, got some nurses and doctors on her side.
And you're the police chief. At this time.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
keep saying police.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because I'm so
It's
used to
because you're
seeing.
dark
Yeah.
and you're afraid of the police.
You got me there.
I did.
You got me.
I got you.
You got me.
That's right, yeah.
But then I get a little beat of sweat.
So yeah, they
You know
moved
why
me
I pulled you
upstairs.
over?
I have some guesses.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So they moved me upstairs, you know what I mean? And then come to find out, you know, the one thing, you know, I wasn't paralyzed, so everything was good. But I had to learn how to write again, how to read again, how to walk again, everything. So
What?
at
Walk-
46,
walk-
yeah.
Talk us through that. How
Yeah.
long did it take you? Now I understand motor skills with
Yes,
writing,
yeah.
but you said read.
Yes.
You didn't know how to read?
Tell me about that.
The cool, I mean, not cool thing, but when you get that, so ended up, you know, most people don't know this, but I lost a piece of my brain the size of my fist
Outside of the tumor.
outside of the tumor.
Yeah.
So in order to get all
they
of the
gotta get
tumor
it
and
all.
get everything and clean it out and get good margins, Dr. Shaw ended up taking like 5.5 by 7.5
So,
centimeters.
my best example.
So
of
we
this,
do
I'm
only
guessing,
use 10% of our brain.
Correct, yes.
I'm guessing. So, like, if you picture like a piece of bread that's gotten moldy,
Yeah.
right? We need to take out some pieces that might be okay,
Yes,
just to make
exactly,
sure
yeah.
it doesn't have any particles.
Yeah.
That's a great enough.
And that's what they did with you.
Oh, it's 100% what
And
they did,
that
yeah.
happened to do coordination, reading, and writing.
Yeah. So everything on the right side of your brain is emotions and filter. Everything on the left side is all your, you know, speech and your, your motor functions and stuff like that. So
Now we're gonna get into emotions and filters because
Sure,
your
yeah.
wife described that to me.
Yes,
everything.
yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, I have
man,
no filter.
that's a
yeah.
license to be an Alfie for me.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
this.
not in control of this.
Yeah.
Oops.
License to be an Alvery. Yes.
An Alvery. So are you out of? Are you out? Like your wife? You have a lifetime pass on Christmas cards and
Yes,
stuff like
yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
dude. So, in all seriousness, you had to learn to read.
So it took
Take me through the reading
I'm
part
guessing it probably took
specifically.
me 24 hours to realize that something wasn't right. You know what I mean? So they moved me upstairs. I'm still having trouble talking. I mean, anybody that came and saw me, you know, not saying this in a bad way, but they went back to the firehouse and there were some people.
He's out of it.
I won't say any names, but they're like, he's not coming back. He's done. You know what I mean?
You thought you were medically
You don't
retired.
think that?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was malicious or they just?
Yeah, one of them was malicious, but not all of them. Yeah, there was some people that went
me
back and
later, I'll
said,
go get 'em.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, he's screwed. He's not coming back. So he's done. You know what I mean? His fire service career is over. And the way I found
Whoops!
out,
Double
yeah,
chief. What happened?
yeah, the therapist came in and she's like, you got to learn how to take a shower. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, I told you I could be paralyzed for 30 days. You know what I mean? So I went and took a shower and she, you know, I'm standing in there naked in the shower, you know, and she's like, you got to learn how to do this so you can go home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All for therapy. So she's like, hey, I'm going to put soap in your hand. I need you to soap your body up. And then we got to figure out, you know.
You gotta
how
learn to
do
care
it.
for yourself, or
Care
you're
for
stuck
yourself,
here.
Yeah, exactly. So she puts soap in my hand. I soap my entire body. I still tell the story this day. I remember her stepping into the shower with me and going, tapping me on the left side. I look down. I draw a line right straight down the middle of my
just-
body. Yeah, I only did the right side of my face, the right
Wow.
side of my chest, my stomach,
Yeah.
my right leg, my right arm. Never touched the left side. So if you've never heard of left side neglect, if you ever get a chance, look that up. I mean, most people don't beat left side neglect. So left side neglect is where your body doesn't recognize that you have a left side.
What?
So if you put a plate of food in front of me, I would eat everything on the right side, never touch anything on the left side. So they have to spin your plate for you.
That's a real thing.
That is a real
and
thing.
you
yes.
had that for a little bit.
So
Yeah.
I did a program.
Yeah.
What?
With I did a program with an organization called the Brian Bill Foundation,
Yeah.
named after SEAL Team 6 veteran Brian Bill. His dad Scott Bill started this. Him and his wife Jennifer Bill, they're family to me. And
Yep.
I went through their programs. They do equine therapy.
That's horses.
For special operations
Yes.
combat veterans.
Horses.
Horses.
It's a good pull by a Cuban
And they
kid.
talk
Yeah.
about the benefits of the horse because the horse has memories on, they're separate on the side of their family.
Yeah.
So when you approach the horse from the right,
What?
it's fine.
I've-
But if you approach the left, you're brand new.
Sure, yeah.
I need you
Wild.
to restate this. Is this a fact? I've
Yeah.
never heard this.
But because the
We're gonna
brain
get fact checked
Yeah.
in the comments.
So
Yeah.
they literally they interpret, they see everything separate on the sides,
Yeah.
the two sides of their body.
So, if the horse is
So
low
this
racist
is-
on this side, you can go the other side. And
Yeah.
give it a
there
shot.
has to be some connection
Yeah.
to what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
here with that. No, like a horse will be. You could own this horse for 3 years. Walk up to it on the right side every time, it's fine. Walk up to the left side, it freaks out.
Fun fact: I will never own a horse. So.
That's right.
Yeah. But a police horse, I need to know that I can go on two different sides with two different perspectives.
I see you more on a donkey.
I know you thought.
Kind of set that one up. I knew that was coming.
That's messed up. I need you to get angry, Chief, right now.
Mary rode into Bethlehem on a donkey. There ain't no
right,
yeah.
She did.
So, but anyway, but I just want to jump in there because I was like, it triggered. I was like, that's a thing. That's a
So
thing.
he had told me
the right
before.
side, left side.
We'd never talked about left side neglect before surgery, but we had talked
never
about.
heard of that.
Yeah, so research it. It's crazy. I mean, it just.
And it,
I'm
did,
going
it go,
down
did it just go away
going
for
down
you?
the rabbit hole.
Or
So
did you
no,
have
it did-
physical therapy? Or
I had
like,
physical therapy. You know, I joke around. My wife, you know, doesn't have a good poker face, but you know what I mean. For the next 13 days in the hospital, they had to teach me how to do everything again. So.
I bet she was so annoyed.
Oh, she was. Yeah, you put a 5-piece puzzle in front of me. You know what I mean? That was like a kid's puzzle.
Oh,
and I remember just holding my hands up like this and going, "I can't do it." And I was just crying. You know
No,
what I mean?
so, like,
Here's a
just
guy
the
who's doing
thinking aspect.
multi-million-dollar budgets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prior to, and just my brain.
Dude,
works differently.
fireman
Yeah.
for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's talk about the fact that, dude, you're clearly back. How long did it take for you to just like,
and if we're being honest, you're a little pompous, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah, I am. Yes.
You flexed during that intro. You was like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
But you know what?
what?
Hey, if I could kick the Grim Reaper's ass, I will. There will be signs,
Dude, if
there
I was-
will be signs.
Dude,
I tell
there
people all the
is
time,
no
I walk a
limit.
fine line between cocky and confident. You know what I mean?
there
That
is-
line is for you to decide.
There is zero limit between.
Yeah.
There's no zero limit to my double jointness.
Yes.
And pat my own self in the back.
Yeah.
If I go through the shit he did.
No,
and he's back as a goddamn chief.
So first question. I mean, we'll get into like the recovery aspect.
Yeah.
But like, so you said the goodbye letters, the goodbye videos to your kids, and now guess what? You don't have to send them.
Correct,
So,
yes.
so first of all, like, have you made a conscious effort to change anything in your life, reprioritize,
So if you ask my wife, no. She
Sure.
said I still work just as much.
Sure.
But, I mean, honestly, coming back, I'm just 50 times more driven
Can I
than
tell
I
you
was
something
before.
funny
Yeah.
that your wife said to me the
Yeah.
other night? She goes, she was asking about the podcast, and she said, oh, when are you doing that? And I told her during
Yeah.
she says, okay, don't do it after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
He has zero tact, inner dialogue, and filter.
Oh, why didn't we schedule this for 8 o'clock?
I go, well, I told her, I said,
Yeah.
oh, shit, we might have to reschedule this
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Ashholes
I don't know.
After Dark.
Yes. She told me things, you are different.
Yes, correct.
You are
Yeah.
different.
I tell people all the time, I'm not the same person that came out. You know, people think that I'm exactly the same. What I'm not is
How are you different?
unfiltered. You know what I mean? So I don't have that emotion that says, you know, that little piece of your brain that says, don't
Don't
say
say
that.
it like that,
Yeah.
because you make me feel like you really don't have
Yeah.
that piece.
Yeah.
Did I
They
have
took out the give a fuck.
Did
Yes,
I have
they
it?
It was right here, and now I don't have one. So guess
Yeah.
what? My bad.
Yeah,
So
that's-
my wife's sitting there listening to this, like,
You see this? This is why I got bad attitude. Deal with it.
Yeah.
no. My wife's sitting
I'd be
there,
ruthless.
Yeah.
and
I'd be
she's
ruthless.
like,
Yeah.
she's looking at me, it's like, do you have a tumor?
I'd be ruthless.
Because I've never had
Yeah.
that. I mean, I'm
Do you
notorious
make
for it.
a more conscious effort to spend more one-on-one time with the kids or anything like that?
I
Like,
try to.
I mean, granted,
obviously-
it's probably like everything else in life, right? Like,
Yeah.
you find out there's an issue, you fix everything
But
immediately, and then
they're
life
off-
gets in
they're
the way.
obviously- How,
Oh, yeah.
how old are you boys now?
So they're 21.
They're doing their life.
They got
They're
better
doing
stuff
their
to do
life,
than
yeah.
hang out with
Yeah,
dad.
they hang out with dad, but it's
Yeah.
now it's a, can we go to the bar together? You know what I mean? And do
We're
fun
at
stuff
IU.
together.
We're
Yeah,
at IU
exactly.
hanging out.
Yeah, right.
He's at the grill bar. Let's go.
Yes, right.
He said they won the championship. We'll be back next weekend. Dad.
Yeah. So ultimately, you know what I mean? I'm different. You know what I mean? I'm just been in the hospital for 13 days and having to learn how to do all that again.
How could you not be different after?
Oh, there's no way. Yeah, it changes you. You know what I mean? That it's a journey that nobody. You know, I
Life
tell
can-
people all the time. People can't tell me how to react.
How much more? So obviously you married this lady.
Yeah.
It's the love of your life. But like, how much?
Brooke's kind of a badass.
But like, how much?
Yes.
More, but
Not
like,
kinda. She is.
Kinda.
but like, that's what I said. But like, how much more do you love her now?
Oh, 10 times. I mean, it was amazing.
Like, she
beforehand.
deserves her flowers, bro.
She totally deserves her flowers. I mean, I told her before I went into surgery, I said, no matter what happens afterwards, I said, it's on you. I said, kick my ass, you know what I mean? And push me as hard as you can. I mean, make me mad. You know
And
what
she
I
was
mean?
gonna raise the kids without you.
Oh, yeah,
So you
absolutely,
and
yeah.
you were planning on it.
Yep.
You were planning on
Well,
it.
here's the thing, and I can pick up the alpha male.
Yeah.
You are the man of that house.
Yes.
Right? Not in contrast to her. She's still
Sure,
a
yeah.
powerful woman.
Absolutely, yeah.
Stand there as your equal. But you dealt with shit.
Yeah.
And then she took charge.
Absolutely, yeah.
She took charge and drug you through that hell.
Oh, she did, yeah.
Yes.
And that's what,
My wife did that for me when I was struggling with my post-traumatic stress.
I'm only back because of what she pushed, you know what I mean?
Right.
She, every time I woke up in the hospital, she was fighting insurance, fighting doctors, fighting nurses, you know what I mean? We've, we learned a ton through that whole thing. So.
I tell people, I say a man, and this is going to sound wild, but a man will become the best version of him or the ultimate version of him for one of two reasons, and they both have to do with a woman.
Yes, absolutely.
Number one, you will ruin this man so much that he decides to burn the whole thing down, and then you'll see what he's capable of.
Yep.
Or number two, this woman will bring out the best in him,
Absolutely,
and she will create this monster of a man that's motivated. And it sounds like that's what she created.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you.
Yeah. We can do it by ourselves, but man.
I've had.
We can't get to that. We can't get to the next level.
Yeah.
I've had women that have pulled things out of me that I just.
Like gerbils, cucumbers, other phallic symbols.
Little fucking Cubans.
A backwards McDonald's cup.
Yeah, Brooke has not done that for me, so we're good.
But then conversely,
homewrecker.
My wife has driven the best out of me.
Absolutely, yes.
And
But she makes you want to be a better person.
She does.
And that's how you know, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how you know. When like you're
It's not about me. It's about us.
Yeah, but it's about your representation of what the Alvey family is. It's your place as the leader of the Funkhouser family.
I say it all the time.
How can you be a POS if your wife's so gangster that she will go through everything? She will fight for you.
Rising tides raise
we're
all
so
ships.
happy
Yes.
you're awake. Your wife has been beating us down.
Yeah. I always joke around, you know what I mean? I'm chief at work, but when I come home, I'm not chief anymore. You know what I
I
mean?
call my wife.
But you know why she's chief? Because she has a bulldog like you behind her.
Absolutely, yes.
So
And
in the
she's
military-
phenomenal.
And it goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
In the military, there's numbers behind role. So if the commander is whatever the call sign is, 1-6.
Yep.
And then the first sergeant is 5.
Yeah.
And it works its way down, right? She's household 6.
Yeah.
She's in my phone, when I go to text her, I just hit HH.
Yeah.
She pops up because she's household 6.
Yes,
HH6.
absolutely, yeah.
That is what she is to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in charge. I'm household 5. Well, I might be fucking 4. So I'm not in charge of shit.
We'll be married 25 years this year in June. So June 30th is our 25-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. We started dating at 17.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
Yikes.
So
That's a whole other conversation, brother.
But you know what? She has made me who I am. Now, whether she likes what I've turned out to be, you know what I mean?
Well, she's probably responsible.
Oh, she is
30 years. You ain't put this train back on the tracks, girl.
she's not done.
Yes, exactly.
She's not done with you yet.
She
She's
needs to
still
be
molding,
done.
yeah.
She needs to be done.
Yeah.
All right, my man's been through a lot.
Yeah.
So you're at this point.
Yeah.
You're in recovery. You're struggling with the writing and the reading
Yeah.
and everything. How far in did it start? And correct me if my description is wrong. Things start clicking again. You started writing again. You started reading. Did it happen quickly or
No, it was slow. I mean, I remember
Slow.
just waking up and crying because I couldn't read and I couldn't.
You
know.
literally couldn't. You didn't know the words,
No, so the way it works with
or you
left-sided
couldn't
neglect,
process them, or
couldn't
like what
process
part
it,
of
yeah.
like. But you knew what they said.
So the hardest part was
So
like
you know how to pronounce a word, but
2
you
in the
didn't know what
morning.
the word meant.
I'm there by myself, and my wife and all them are gone because the visiting hours are over. I can't find my phones. You know what I mean? So I like to play on my phone and
Sure.
scroll and do different
Yeah, yeah.
things when I was in the hospital.
You're playing Candy
Yeah, yeah.
Crush. We
So
know.
exactly.
He's like, when did they block this website in the state of Indiana? Hey, nurse, can you give me my ID? I got to verify all this
I got to
thing.
verify my age.
So yeah,
He's like, I hope she doesn't show up and hit
I was
P.
hitting the nurse button at like 2 in the morning, having them come in and be like, "Where's my phones at?" And they're like, "They're over here, Eric."
Oh, because you have the left side.
Because I had the left side neglect, so
Oh,
they'd
so
have
this
to come
didn't
in.
even
Yeah.
exist to you.
Correct. Yeah. So I had to stare. Everybody had to sit on my left side so I could train myself to look left again.
How long did that last?
Probably a week. So
Okay.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. This is real talk.
yeah,
Would you have taken paralysis or that for a week if you could switch out? Because that's really weird.
I would probably still take the left side neglect because
But you
ultimately,
saw nothing.
yeah, I saw nothing. I tell people my low point in the hospital was, and you can ask my wife. I remember calling her at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So the big exciting part of the day was they would call you the night before and you'd order your breakfast.
Heck yeah.
So that you'd talk to the same person every day. So I got to be friends with the lady that would order my breakfast for me. So I'd place my order and I was all excited because I was getting toast the next morning. And, you know, I got
That's some
addicted to
Hayward Bank shit. Yeah.
So ultimately,
Great.
you
I
know,
need great.
I struggle to sleep in the hospital because it's so loud at nighttime.
sure.
So,
Beds are uncomfortable.
yeah. And then you got, I say this all the time, 90-year-old people screaming for mom in the middle of the night. with traumatic brain injuries.
Are you bullying right now? Sounds like you're bullying, Chief.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
He's back. He's back.
You know for a fact that none of them, their parents aren't still here. So,
It's a very scary place to be, too.
But it takes you back in your memory cells.
Yes.
And you listen, you're old enough now, we all are, like, to be where you were, pack you.
Yes.
Like you said, old people. It's like you realize, like, you may be pissed and ready to go home, but there are some people that aren't going home.
You're correct, yes.
Some of these people are dying up here, and I'm hearing them.
You know what? Was it mentally fucked up that you're amongst them? You're one of them.
Well, yeah. When you're thinking, I'm 47 years old, here I am laying in this bed, I got to learn how to do all this same stuff. Yeah, can't read, can't write.
Did you ever say, man, F this, I wish I would have waited?
No. Yeah,
Now,
I can tell you, it never crossed my mind.
What was it like the first time? Like, oh shit, I can read again.
So the biggest aha moment for me.
I'm assuming it didn't happen overnight.
It did not. No. So I remember, they were like, one of the therapists came in, and the best thing she ever told me, she's like, because I was crying that morning.
You're not retarded.
Yeah, I'm like crying, just totally out of it, upset that I can't do all this stuff anymore. And the therapist came in, she's like, cool. She goes, I'm gonna tell you one thing. She goes, cry it out, get it out, and let's move on. Yeah.
That's what you needed.
Yeah.
You know what?
She goes, it's okay to have bad days. She goes, you're going to have bad days.
But isn't that the same thing you heard from the doctor?
Yes,
who was like,
exactly,
look, here's the deal. And that's what you need. You're at 27.
But I talk about
tell me the plan and we go.
Yeah.
But I talk about that too with post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injuries, things like that we address with the Warrior 110. You got to process it.
Absolutely, yes.
Get it out of your fucking system. Process the shit out of it.
I never complain about tough love.
Adapt, improvise, overcome.
But for us, and I would say the same thing. I mean, the lifestyle of a 27, 25, 28, 22-year fireman is the same life as a military vet.
Yep.
So you know what? Yes, this sucks. Yes, this sucks.
Right.
Yes, this sucks. But if you tell me get over it and we're doing something next, well, guess what? I'll follow directions. Well, yes, it sucks.
My wife always said that. She's like, knock it off. Let's move on.
And guess what? Okay, let's do it.
I mean? That's,
I just
not saying that in a bad way. I mean, she
I'm
just.
not going to lie, dude. I just want to hang out with your wife.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Why do we have this loser on here? We need Brooke.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's out. The wife is in. Brooke is in.
Here's what I'll do. Brooke will never speak on camera. That's the one thing you'll never get out of her.
So I can't help but notice you're wearing the Funk Cancer Foundation.
Yes, exactly.
Tell us about that. How did that start? I mean, obviously, I'm going to assume I know how it started, but how did it start? What is it doing? How can people get involved? What do you do? Tell me everything you can.
And he's not selling creatine.
No, I'm not selling creatine.
Inside joke. Tell them what happened.
So I was at a bar the other night. I was standing outside wearing this, and somebody come up to me and they said, "Is that a shirt for creatine?" And I said, "No, it's not." And they're like, "We have huge shoulders." I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like, excuse me.
I'd like to grab them, sir.
I'm gonna flex my imagination.
So Funk Cancer Foundation.
Let's
go. The whole story behind it is, if you ask my wife, and she won't tell you, but 2 days after surgery, I woke up and was just motivated as all get out. I'm like, I have people bending over backwards to help me, donating money, food, taking care of my kids, family stuff.
God, you love this community.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
This community.
But you got to find out how much the community loves you.
Oh, it's an awesome community.
Right. Johnson County's awesome.
You've been given to the community since you were a first-year flunk out of college.
Yep.
But I'm saying, and now the community gets to show you how much they love you.
We live in a nation of selfish people, but in this county, Johnson County.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was,
Everybody came forward.
It's funny. It's like 2 years later, and I still get messages on a daily basis on my social media.
Losers.
That are like,
we're past that.
They're like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing awesome. You know what I mean? God bless you and stuff like that.
Creatine.
Exactly.
I remember. There's a reason why you're sitting there right now.
Yeah.
This is just an epic tale.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I tell people all the time, I mean, I should have been, God blessed me with more time, you know what I mean?
Yep.
2 years ago.
2 years.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, you know what I mean? Laying in the hospital, that was my aha moment when I said, you know what I mean? I don't want to be known for work. I want to be known for something else. So,
But so you're going to get into telling us all about Funk Cancer.
Yes.
But I just want to point out something before you get deep in it, based off of what you just said.
Yep.
You made this about everybody else, not you.
Yes.
And I love you for that. I feel that.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Dude, the fact that you was like, my struggle is going to help other people. That's. I'm not going to deep in the weeds of my shit. I want to really spotlight what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And dude, the fact that you made this fucking horrific situation you had to go through about helping fucking other people, dude, you are a Dude, you are a soul. So there's two types of people in this person. And we've got gray matter in between, but there's some people that walk in a room and they're just soul suckers, man. They just drain you.
Yep.
And then there's people that walk in the room and they nourish your fucking soul.
Yep.
You are a soul nourishing son of a bitch. You really are. It's never been about your persona. It's never been about your fucking image. It's, dude, you got through this shit and you're like, all right. Nobody else is going through this on their own.
Yeah.
I think it's,
dude, it's fucking amazing.
It's too easy in this world, like you just mentioned. Like everybody's so selfish.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very few and far between when you meet people, whether it's Alvy or obviously you. And I would put myself in this category. Where like, I want to be of acts. I want to do my love language is acts of service.
Yes,
I want to be
absolutely.
I want to be of use.
Now my wife would argue that it's physical touch.
And listen, if I'm being selfish, like selfishly, I want to be of use.
Yeah.
I'm helping everybody, but I'm doing it because I feel loved that
You're
way.
not
right?
even fucking recovered, and this shit's spinning up.
Yeah.
2 days
Dude,
in. I just got the funk cancer. It took me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Right.
God damn it!
listen.
You didn't pick up on that.
So this was my firefighters come up with this name when I was in the hospital. So they were doing donations, T-shirts, hashtagging that, all that stuff out there. You know what I mean? And that was, for me, having the nurses come in and just buy into it and tell me all their stories, So having nurses taking care of me in the hospital and looking up and I'm on the 6 o'clock news, you know what I mean, while we're going through everything.
So what is funk cancer?
So Funk Cancer was just a foundation to pay back everybody that all they did for me. So thousands of dollars, you know what I mean, that they donated to help us out and, to make sure that we were taken care of, when we were going through the lowest part of our life. So I told my wife, I want to start a foundation. I told her two things, and I told her I wouldn't talk politics today.
That's okay.
But I said, I want to go into politics and I want to do a foundation. And she goes, shut the hell up. She goes,
Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
And yes.
yeah.
All right. So
She's like 48 hours later. She's like, let's talk about something else. Let's move on. So
I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yeah.
But Jerry is planning to kick me off of my own show here.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
fact.
Now we know.
And,
Yeah.
And
It's going to be
He's
called
looking for-
it's going to be called the Brown Show for that day.
Yeah.
Just that day.
well, she balances out. So
Ebony and Ivory. That day.
It's about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about helping people.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the biggest thing for me is I'm driven by, God gave me a second chance, so why not come back and make a difference in people's lives?
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If he gave you a second chance, obviously you believe in God.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
What's your purpose now?
My purpose is I was sent back to help people.
And how?
And it was just by, I always say this, I always felt like God gave me the gift of discernment to know people's hearts.
Love
you know what I
that.
mean? So I just say
Love
that,
that.
I can't work with bad people. I can only work with good people. So, just knowing who's good and just promoting those type of people and making sure that they, get to move forward and, are helping people. I'm tired of, without going into politics, I will say this.
No names.
I'm tired of the old days of, of this,
Whites.
I'm tired of this extremism. Why do we have? Yeah.
Did you hear that shit?
Yeah. Why are we having?
It was a layup, dude.
The only
I gave him a
reason we
softball.
let
And as a Latino, like, it's like, oh, well, that's funny.
the only
Yeah.
reason we let you in here is because we all have the same haircut.
That's right. Yeah.
We do.
Listen, that's true, but
Some of us have cooler scars.
Yeah.
listen,
So-
if
Yeah.
I had a scar like
And
that, I would get
titanium
all the
screws.
ladies, son.
So ultimately, I can't stand extremism on one side or the
Yeah,
other. You know what I mean?
agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
I'm
To
back
the point of dysfunction.
to the point of dysfunction. I think that
It's important, but I think it's important to all of us to call it out on both sides.
Absolutely,
like,
yes,
like
yeah.
that weirdo on the far right does not speak for me,
Exactly,
even
yeah.
though I support Donald Trump. Like I don't support that
Yes.
that crackhead.
yes,
That's
And on the left, it should be the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
blue-haired Karen with 15 pronouns doesn't represent you, the
Democrats.
typical liberal. Like,
I say it all the time. The greatest commandment was love. You know what I mean? So why are we not working together and doing
because
that
you know
together?
what?
Yeah.
The rest of us have to go to work, and only
Yes.
the weirdos on both sides can go to all the protests.
Yeah.
And TikTok about it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But ultimately, I want to see the old days brought back where people work together and do it for the right reasons. And,
You want to make America
you know,
great again.
if you want to be a politician, yeah, I do not want to make it.
You want to bring the old days back.
Yeah, I do want to bring the old days back where people
Make
actually did it
America
for the right
sane
reasons.
again.
Yeah. Do it for the right reasons.
So I'm gonna put you on a spot.
Yeah.
3 things that changed post for you.
Yeah.
Your perspectives on life. I want 3.
Yeah.
That changed for you once you came out of surgery and you realized, man,
That's
I get
hard
another go. I want man to man, honest, like
Yeah.
3 things that you think
3
you
things
learned.
for me are easy. It's I learned that I'm 10 times more driven or 50 times more driven. You know what I mean? So I was given a second chance, so I'm coming back to make a difference. You know what I mean? So it was almost like an agreement between me and God that, hey, you get another chance, but you're going to make a difference. So that's the first one. Second one is family's always first. You know what I mean? No matter what. So put your family first.
But they weren't first in this.
No, yeah. So I learned, you know what I mean, that, whether they believe it or not, they mean the world to me. And everything runs through them. You know what I mean? So everything I do is for them. And then 3 is just to make sure that I'm taking care of people and helping people. So, you know what I mean? 1, just be there to help and to love people.
So once again, it seems like 2 of those things are about helping others.
Yes.
Well,
and the other one is about making sure that you reprioritize the people that actually
community.
Yeah, and I will come back and say, I don't want to be, when my career's done someday, which is coming to an end here pretty soon, I don't want to be remembered for being an awesome fire chief.
Do you have pressure by your family to tell you, like, just to be done and enjoy your life?
No, if my wife had her way, I'd do 10 more years in the fire service. If I get my way, I'm going to do 4 or 5 more, and then I'm done. It's time. I tell people all the time, my clock got punched. You know what I mean? So my time clock.
Started.
So I will say, in this community, number 3 is the one everybody sees.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
What you are putting everybody in front of you. It's just like we said it earlier, and you and I have said this before, rising tides raise all ships.
Yes.
Well, sometimes it takes that powerful ship to bring all the little tugboats up.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're doing that. I believe everything positive and negative is energy.
Yeah.
And I think it's controlled by Jesus Christ.
Yep, absolutely.
But it's all energy, right?
Yep.
So no one said that this negative energy couldn't be positive and this positive energy couldn't be there. And I feel like you're taking all this negative fucking energy and you're turning it into a positive.
Yes.
You're taking all this shit.
Yep.
You're filtering it through and like, we're going to use it as fuel to help people.
We said it from the beginning. I mean, my wife said it from the get-go. It's, people always ask, why me? We say, why not me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God threw it at me for a reason.
But you know what? Because you can handle it.
Yes,
Isaiah,
exactly. Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Right? Send me.
Send me. Yeah.
You can handle
Send
it.
me.
And that's going to be my tattoo someday. Just so you know.
Me too. Sometimes, I think sometimes.
I just hope I don't misspell it.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes as Christians, I think that's the important thing.
Yes.
Right? It's like, we can sit here and go, God, I've been faithful. God, I've been loyal.
Yeah.
God, I've done your best. Shouldn't I reap the rewards?
Yep.
Right? And the reality is, sometimes the reward is that people get to meet badass people like you, dude.
I appreciate that, yeah. Ultimately, in the end, you know what I mean? God throws tests at, people that need it, you know what I mean?
God will never give you more than you can handle.
Correct, yes, exactly, yeah. So never throw anything more at you than you can handle.
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
Well,
God will give you, he gave you something you could not handle.
That's
Correct,
bullshit.
yeah.
He handled it correctly. Look what came out.
No, but here's my thing.
Look what
he
came
gives
out.
you
Yeah.
shit you can't handle, so you bend the knee to him.
Yes.
And then
No.
he helps you.
Listen, I do believe
He
that
helps
God
you.
will humble you.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
He will humble you.
You know,
but at
I-
the same time, God knows what you need, man.
Tell us about that.
God's the mechanic of your life. And
Yes.
like, all of us need oil changes.
Yeah.
All of us have the check engine light that pops on sometimes, right? But God's the mechanic you can't lie to.
I was always warned as a kid never to pray for patience. You know what I mean? So that was something that I never prayed for, was patience.
Yeah.
Because they said God will give you tests. if
So
you pray
that's
for patience.
I
Yeah.
heard that somewhere. It was like, I asked God for this and God gave me chances to be patient.
Yeah. Yes.
I asked for money and God gave me chances to be frugal.
And he
gave
I
me
asked
tests, yeah.
So like for me, it's turned into like, I don't pray for much. I just pray for God to prepare me with what I need because
Yeah.
he's the only one that knows what I need. I have no clue what I need. But
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I do not pray for success. I
Yeah.
pray for an opportunity that I can work real hard to achieve it.
Yeah.
And Jesus.
You know what?
He
I
gave
want
you a hell of a fucking opportunity through adversity.
So if people want to get involved with the foundation, how do they do that?
ultimately the biggest thing for me is just donations.
Sure. Where at?
So we have we've got a Facebook account with Venmo and everything set up.
Yep.
I got a Stripe account set up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're doing all kinds of stuff right now.
Get
So
the website.
we got the web. Well, we don't have a website built yet, but we're working.
Well,
on
we
it.
have.
So,
We'll
yeah.
put a link in the.
So we'll put a link to everything.
Awesome.
in
Yeah,
this
appreciate it.
thing.
Yeah.
So
And then we're doing golf outings. We're doing galas. You know what I mean? Everything else. So Bam Weather was nice enough to partner with us this time to be there.
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark. Yeah,
I need
Michael
a
Clark.
funk
Yeah.
this up shirt.
Yeah. So ultimately,
I want
I'm
a
selling.
funk
Yeah.
cancer shirt. So just so you know, my father got diagnosed with prostate cancer
Yeah.
at basically 50. Dude, this is 99,
Yeah.
2000. Back Technology's changed
Yeah,
a lot.
100%,
They
yeah.
filleted him open,
Yeah.
got it all out, all this stuff. To the point, like, his brother got the same thing like 10 years ago.
Completely
10
different
years later,
treatment.
they're like, boop, boop, you can walk out.
Yeah.
But not to downplay that at all, but dude, it's outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the cancer, how it impacts your life.
Absolutely,
He's still, he has to monitor his PCAs. He has to do all this. He's still fighting it off. It's still in his body.
That's why, are you going back for PET scans and all that to follow
So
up?
the way I'm going right now is every 3 months. So I have an all-star team that takes care of me. I've got an oncologist, a radiologist, and I got a neurosurgeon.
Deal with that badass surgeon?
Yeah. So I still talk to him all the time. He's a good friend of ours.
You know what?
I mean?
Give him another shout out.
Yeah. So it's Dr. Kushaw Shaw, and he's phenomenal. So
He's a brown guy, yeah?
Yeah, he's
Atta baby.
Yeah, he came
Happy
from
February.
Kansas City, is where he is
Slow down,
from.
little
So
brown
yeah,
guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, he's awesome.
He
yeah.
did fantastic.
Oh, he did a phenomenal job. I owe my life to him, is what I tell people all the time. So, just the surgery alone, and he went in and took even more than we thought he was going to, than we thought on the front end. So
I will say this, man, as we start to wrap this up, I will say that I saw something online this week, and it kind of resonated with me. So, and I've told this to you before, we're doing a big donation to Warrior 110. June 27th, I'm having a big party. It's at the VFW in Carmel.
Yep.
And I'm partnering with a organization called Building a Refuge.
Nice.
And it's for men's mental health.
Yep.
And I saw a thing this weekend. You know how algorithms work, right? So it's like, oh shit, that's all I get now, right? But there was
click
one.
on it once.
There was one, and somebody said, "What's the biggest realization that you've had in your life?" To this guy, and he said that the first time a man gets flowers is at his funeral.
Yes, I saw that.
So in this moment, man, I want to give you your flowers, dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I had no clue who you were.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know you from anybody else in this world.
Yep.
I would tell you right now, man, I think you're a phenomenal human being.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think you're a
Yeah.
badass police chief. I think
Fire
you're
chief. Yes.
Hey, listen. What would be more Lopez? At least I'm consistent. You're a
Yeah, I was gonna say
badass.
he's gonna hit it at the front, the end, and the middle. So
Hey, I hit it every way I can, chief. I hit it
Technically,
everywhere
that's right,
I
yeah.
can.
Technically, he is J-Lo.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
listen, you don't have to be a dick about it. You feed me drinks.
You don't have to be a lot of
No,
things.
you're a badass fire chief.
Oh, thank you so much.
And a good husband, I think. More importantly, a good
family man.
You're a good dad.
Yeah, I appreciate
And I
that,
think
yeah.
not enough dads hear that, and just to see you get emotional when you talk specifically about the videos of your kids or
Yes.
having to say goodbye, like that shows me who you are to the heart of you.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know, as a kid who was raised without his bio dad, like, man, good job, dude.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
And,
That's
you know-
you say that's phenomenal, so I appreciate that. But I will say that's the one blessing that came out of this. So, you said nobody gets their funerals to their flowers.
Yeah.
Or flowers until their
Unfortunately,
funeral.
you had to get. Everybody thought that was your funeral, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I get to see all my flowers. You know.
Did you ever rub it in afterwards, like, bro? You said I was so awesome, and
No,
now you won't
yeah.
give me the budget. Now you won't help me on the budget.
You know what? They all know now that I'm unfiltered. You know what I mean?
He said, we
the
need
running
10
joke.
more
Yeah.
K, dude. Do
Yeah.
you see this?
Yeah.
We need 2 trucks and some new
You
hoses.
see this scar. So
I'm not saying I'm scary, but I'm that guy that, you don't poke the bear with me.
I
You
would
got nothing
yeah,
to lose.
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
so I would like to add to before Jerry wraps this up, because Jerry usually starts us off, wraps us up.
Yeah.
I just want to add. I mean, I've watched it in the purview. I've gotten to know you,
Yep.
and it's a privilege.
Awesome. Thank you so
And
much.
I really appreciate you coming on here. Everything you do in the community, and having gotten to know your wife,
Yep.
and understanding the dynamic with the kids, being a father, being a husband. I mean, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Being a fucking example for men
Appreciate that.
today, men in this community. Thank you for being a patriarch. Thank you for being a man. Thank you for being real.
Thank you.
Because that's the example. It's not just for your kids. Even
Yeah.
though your kids are benefit. It's all these other
Yeah.
men. And
Everybody
kids
else
out
is
there.
watching.
This is real.
Yeah, everybody else is
This is
watching.
how men act.
Yeah.
This is how we're supposed to act.
This
Absolutely,
is it.
yeah.
You take on adversity. You do your best. You help everyone around you.
Yep.
And you just live your life. We're not going to be here forever. We're not.
Correct, yeah.
But we're going to make use of it when we're here.
What do they
Hey,
say?
and
Life
hey,
is but a paper.
Hey, to fire chiefs and police chiefs. Everywhere.
And you know
Exactly,
what? Let me say this before Jerry wraps up. Funk cancer.
That's right.
Funk
Yeah.
cancer.
Cancer.
Hey, we will put the links in the bio.
Yes.
Please donate. Also, man, kudos to you, brother.
What'd I do now?
It's another banger in the books. This is an awesome dude, man. When I saw the name, I was like, I have no clue who this is. I had no clue we were in for this treatment.
I
so
will not
thank
book
you.
somebody
Yeah,
who's
that's
not
awesome.
awesome.
Hey, thank you.
Sit
The
down,
bar
sit down,
has
sit down,
been
sit
set.
down.
That's right. Yeah.
Show up.
Who's next?
Have a great weekend, ashholes.
Yep. Thank you.